overwhelming evidence that there is absolutely no shortage of chairs, citing in their findings the sheer number of armchairs, folding chairs, bar stools, Adirondack chairs, swivel chairs, lazy boys, and rocking chairs already in existence.
Our research shows that even in a place where there seems not to be enough chairs, a quick investigation will find 1 or 2 chairs just over in the next room. Basically, as far as chairs go, I'd like to reiterate that we have a very good number of them and could just use those.
And in this week's local news, the guy in front of you is ordering for an entire construction crew. In other news, a local police department reduces costs by using the same evidence for every investigation. Voters are clamoring to hear if a female political candidate is a mother first, and a whitewater rafting trip in which a friend drowned is still pretty fun.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You may bring up what you want and take control of the airwaves here. Our toll-free number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm, allowing you to take control of the airwaves and, bring up anything. That's the point of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain.
So, Captain, you've got a story, and I have one that's related to this, about a guy who got picked up in some sort of a police sweep searching for a criminal, somebody who, robbed a house or burgled a house, I guess?
Yeah, they call it geo-fence or something along those lines.
I call it an Orwellian police state.
Oh, it very well is an Orwellian police state. This article is both scary and, just in the premise of what happened to this guy, but then also reading through it, the comments from this guy are incredibly ignorant as far as
the victim. You mean?
As far as to the situation of what's going on.
I have not read this story, so tell me what's
they're calling
up.
it a geofence warrant. And so this is from NBC News, and this has made its way around the internet in a couple of different news sites. I just pulled this article for tonight's show. Google tracked his bike ride past a burglarized home.
Where's this from? NBC's?
NBC News.
Okay.
And that made him a suspect. Quote, I was using an app to see how many miles I rode my bike, and now it was putting me at the scene of the crime, the man said. So this is Zachary McCoy. He used an exercise tracking app called Runkeeper to record his ride. So, guy wants to stay in shape, he rides his bike, etc., and so on.
Yeah, people are all into these apps now. It's a big deal.
So the email arrived on a Tuesday afternoon in January, startling Zachary McCoy as he prepared to leave for his job at a restaurant in Gainesville, Florida. It was from Google's legal investigation support team writing to let him know that local police had demanded information related to his Google account.
Interesting. I'm surprised they did that.
You'll see Google has a policy about this now, so it'll talk a little bit about that. But apparently they have a policy where if law enforcement asks to see your information, they will inform you. They will send you some sort of notification.
I think that's very interesting that they're doing that, because in certain cases they're not legally allowed to. So, like when they
I would imagine if it's like a Homeland Security thing or some, an FBI, probably at the federal level.
When they get what's called the National Security Letter, it basically says you're going to get charged if you tell this person that we're looking into them.
I believe this was local police in the Gainesville area, but we'll find out more in a second. It was from Google's legal investigations team writing to let him know that local police had demanded information. The company said it would release the data unless he went to court and tried to block it. He had just 7 days. So he got this email, and he only had 7 days to react to it.
Wow, that's interesting. They're letting him know before they release it.
Right. So,
kudos to them for that. I mean, I would never expect a corporation to do anything.
I didn't expect that out of Google myself when I read this article earlier today, and I was surprised. I mean, I guess it's cool in a way that's, as opposed to them just giving up data to any law enforcement agency, federal or otherwise, isn't cool. Like, okay, they're at least trying to, give a guy a cue, like, hey, boy, we've got some information. Some cops are looking for you. Here's an alert. But he said, I was hit really with a deep fear, said McCoy, age 30, even though he couldn't think of anything he'd done wrong. He had an Android phone, which was linked to his Google account, and, like millions of other Americans, he used an assortment of Google products, including Gmail and YouTube.
Sure. Well, and just because you can't think of something you've done wrong doesn't mean that you haven't done something illegal. Because remember, just because something is illegal doesn't mean that it's wrong. And there's a ton of stuff that they've made illegal that you don't know about.
Right, like walking across the street improperly, for example.
Sure.
He says, I was afraid to get charged with something, and I didn't know what. There was one...
That's scary.
There was one clue. Yeah.
For somebody that has never had a run-in with the police, right? For beyond maybe a speeding ticket or something. Like
right.
You're limited in your experience with these people, and then all of a sudden you find out you're being investigated. That's scary.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? I'm a regular Joe. I'm just... why is Google sending me this email? I mean, it's all very curious and conspicuous and very Orwellian, as you pointed out. There was one clue, however. In the notice from Google was a case number. I don't know if it's their policy to reveal this or if this was a one-time thing in the case of this particular person, but there was a case number, and McCoy searched for it on the Gainesville Police Department's website.
You can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a case number, cases are technically publicly available information. So, I've had friends who've gotten arrested and, had their mom, their significant other, whatever, like call me and be like, hey, so-and-so is in jail. Their case number is this. And you can go to their website and go search the case number and find all the publicly available information.
Oh, that's interesting. I can tell you that's not true for every police department. You can't do it here.
As a former manager for a company, I had employees. And when an employee would do what they call a no-call, no-show, there were certain
check and see if they got picked up.
There were certain policies you had to follow, and if you didn't get any response from the person,
check the hospital, check the police logs.
Check the hospital, check the police logs, and so you had to do all that kind of thing. So it's not really that uncommon for somebody to go search a police website for a name.
I'll say this: you can get like a police log here, but it's usually a few days after until they post it, so it's not the next day.
Oh, really? It's not.
It doesn't come with the next
day.
The
turnaround is slow.
Yeah, and I mean it's the government. You can't expect them to have their S together, and so it may give you a case number associated with an incident. So if you pull up the log, it'll show you whatever the incident, case or whatever is. Yeah. But if you were to call them and say, I want to see this case file, they would tell you, well, sorry, that case is still under investigation. You can't get it. You cannot get a copy of that until the case has been closed.
Right.
As a member of the public. As a member of, an attorney or something, you might be able to, but the average person wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, this guy found a one-page investigation report, so maybe that's indicative of how little information they actually had on the thing, that it was only one page. But he found a one-page investigation report on the burglary of an elderly woman's home 10 months earlier. Huh. So this crime had happened 10 months ago, and he was able to, using whatever information Google provided him, probably in the subject line, they copied and pasted and, said referencing incident number, blah, 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 like you would a customer service ticket for your cable company where they give you a case number or whatever kind of a thing. That's my guess. The crime had occurred less than a mile from the home that McCoy, who had recently earned an associate degree in computer programming, shared with two others. Now, McCoy was even more panicked and confused after this. He knew he had nothing to do with the break-in. He'd never even been to the victim's house, and he didn't know anyone who might have, and he didn't have much time to prove it. Again, this Google email alert, whatever he got, said he had 7 days, to...
Well, and all he could do would be to fight it in court.
Right. So he went to his parents' home in St. Augustine, where over dinner he told them everything about what was happening, and they agreed to dip into their savings to pay for a lawyer. Huh. Okay, so he lawyered up, right? He's like, I got this thing. There's a case. They're asking for information about me. I feel like I should lawyer up.
It's not a bad idea. You can afford to do it.
I'm with him he went to his parents and, asked for a loan or whatever, right? And they were like, yeah, okay, let's lawyer up. So the lawyer, Caleb Kenyon, dug around and learned that the notice had been prompted by a, quote, geoforce warrant, unquote. So that's a new term to me.
Geofence.
Geofence.
Oh, geofence.
Geofence warrant. and we'll learn about what that is in just a second. It's a police surveillance tool that casts a virtual dragnet over crime scenes, sweeping up Google location data drawn from users' GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cellular connections from everyone nearby. So local law enforcement has this tool called a geofence warrant that can dragnet your Google location data, your GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cellular connections.
Amazing. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up whatever you want here. You want to weigh in on this. Does it make you feel safe, knowing the police have this kind of access to data?
Me.
Your data, or at least what you thought was your data. Remember, you gave permission to Google to take it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on libertycon.com. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
There are basically 2 types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can bring up what you want right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking about a creepy new style of warrant, a geofencing warrant that apparently the police are utilizing, even local police departments, to
super creepy
to find out who was in an area that there was, let's say, a crime committed. In this case, it was a burglary, I believe it was.
Burglary, Gainesville, Florida.
Who was in a specific geographic area during a certain period of time, and then that would make you a suspect if you were just simply in the region. So we're going to talk more about that. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, it's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And are you 100% sure that you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubts? Well, Tom Young is the author and founder of the CFO Project. He can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage, without spending a single dollar more. With the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion and the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion, you can't wait to take control of your money. So don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. You can go to the CFO Project website at cfo-project.com to get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, where Tom will show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. He'll show you in The Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, to build wealth and eliminate debt, how to do it at the same time. You can get your free copy over at cfo-project.com and invest in yourself and your family today. Get the Family Money Farm, the CFO Project, for free at cfo-project.com. We're going to continue here. Captain Kickass, you've got this story you're sharing with us from NBC News about a guy. And where was he living? Was it
Gainesville,
Florida? Yep. A
Florida man.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple Gainesvilles out there, but there's Gainesville, Georgia.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
But so this guy was ostensibly on a bicycle. I don't know if they've mentioned that in the story yet, but as I understand it, he was biking nearby where some sort of crime happened, some kind of a burglary. And Google gave him a heads up saying that they'd received a request from the Gainesville police that police wanted his information, I guess.
They gave him a heads up that the police had asked for specifically his information. So
is that different than a warrant?
Well, as I understand it, law enforcement can ask Google for information that isn't identifying. Right, so they can ask Google, and the article
is going to be identified.
The article will talk about this in a little bit. Like they can ask they can ask Google for stuff like, hey, did anybody have their location access turned on in the vicinity, between these dates? And they can go yes or no. Or
and then
they
if
can
they
go,
say yes, then they can get a warrant?
Then they can get a warrant that goes, okay, one of these geofence warrants. They go, okay, let us have the names of who these, or whatever user information you have.
And so that's where we're at with this story. We'll continue it here. And, of course, you're welcome to join us. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts, more about some of the creepy things that maybe you didn't know that they could do. Now you will know. Let's go to Jimmy in Eagle Rock, Missouri, listening via the TuneIn app online. Go ahead, Jimmy. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Jimmy. You're on the air.
I'd like to let y'all know I received my Goldback today.
Nice.
The Goldback.
They are very nice.
They're pretty beautiful, aren't they? Can you explain for our listeners what it is?
Yeah, it's this really cool. It's one. Well, the one I got is 1/1000th of an ounce of 24 karat gold.
Nice.
And it's got a really beautiful picture printed on it. And it's kind of it's real light. But it looks amazing. It's basically gold money.
It's beautiful. We're huge fans of the Goldback here, and
I am.
Yeah, I think I can speak for most of the hosts on this show. We're not they're not a sponsor of Free Talk Live, but I love the product and I'm really excited. I found it last year at the Freedom Fest, which is the convention, very large libertarian / kind of conservative feeling convention in Vegas, where I met the owner, the creator of the Goldback there, and we interviewed him, and I was like, ooh, really, really liked it. And so, of course, once they actually officially came out, they're brand new. They just started in October. Goldback.com is where you can go to learn more about it. But I love them. I think they're really cool. And let's see, what else can we say about this? Oh, one of the things that the owner did tell me was that this free Goldback giveaway thing that they've been doing, where if you just go to upma.org and you give them your address, you sign up for an account, they'll send you a free Goldback, which is, I presume, how you got yours, Jimmy. That offer may not be any good soon. I don't know if they've shut it off yet, but as I understand it, they are shutting that offer down for some period of time. So I can't guarantee that the free Goldback thing is still happening, but you might want to go grab a UPMA account while you can, and maybe you'll get a free Goldback at upma.org. Maybe not. I don't know. They might have shut it off. They said they were expecting some huge publicity from something, but he couldn't tell me what it was, and so I guess they were just expecting to not be able to fulfill.
I got mine in the same way that Jimmy did before. My first one anyway.
So Jimmy, was that all? Go ahead.
Well, also the Associated Press sent me a card, those big stock card things in the mail, and it is they're wanting to give me $5 for a 10-minute political survey. So I just thought that was kind of an interesting thing too, because you hear about these surveys, online. You're wondering, who are these people that they question, and I guess I'm one of them now.
Yeah, I find them interesting to see if they, let's say, for instance, mention the libertarians,
I'm sure they won't,
in a presidential survey, and if they give you the opportunity to give them any feedback at the end. If they don't, and where you can kind of let them have it for not giving all of the choices on who they could possibly vote for or whatever. So let us know how it goes, Jimmy, and thanks for calling and sharing your experience here with us tonight. Let's go to David in New Mexico. He's listening to KENN in Alamogordo. Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I'm doing my reading on Sheriff Darren White, former sheriff in New Mexico, and related to this mysterious death of a lawyer that made her money by suing police departments here in New Mexico. And if people Google that, they'll see the link. But there's a Mary Hahn, H-A-N, and like I said, she made a living suing things that the APD had done primarily, but other law enforcement as well. And she turned up dead in her garage, and now she'd been suing APD for years, and guess who showed up to investigate her mysterious death?
APD.
Was APD. And they almost immediately ruled it a suicide. Without doing much investigation at all. She was apparently sitting in her car, and they ruled it a suicide, carbon monoxide poisoning. And the latest news on this, there's a decade's worth of news on this, but the latest one is that the family, who's been fighting this legally for a decade, is asking the Supreme Court of the state of New Mexico to look into the case on a couple different things.
Hold that thought, David. I'm not real sure which case this is. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. It's Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at AnyPayInc.com. AnyPayInc.com.
Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live.
There's a certain set of people out there, let's call them cop suckers. They'll agree with everything the police do. There's nothing the police can do wrong.
They love themselves in uniform, no doubt.
They feel like it's harassing and threatening and intimidating to pull out a video camera and record government agents, whether it be the police or the parking enforcers, to record them in the process of doing their job. And I'm sorry, that is not harassing, and it is being a good person to stand up for your rights. These police, when they're aggressing against peaceful people, which is what their job is day in and day out, every now and then they'll actually stop a real criminal from hurting somebody else, and I support them when they do that. But when they're out there harassing college students for open container, when they're harassing hippies for smoking pot, when they're harassing little old ladies for going 10 miles over the speed limit, that's when they're no longer a good person.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free to join us on the radio. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
And the Reverend Captain Kickass.
855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm, where you can join us and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Coming up, we got more on the story about Google giving up your info to the police, but now apparently they are giving you a heads up on some of these warrants or these requests. It's not clear if they're going to give you a heads up if it's a warrant or if it's a request or both, but we can talk more about that on the way here. Of course, open phones is always where you can bring up what you want. Now, if you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash, you ought to get on over to AnyPayInc.com, where you can learn about their AnyPay ambassador program that allows you to actually help spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash and get businesses signed up to accept them. And you can actually get some rewards for doing so now. You can get paid passive income for every purchase made in those cryptocurrencies at the businesses that you recruit. Here's how you do it. You download the AnyPay Cash Register app, and you can do that on iOS or Android, and set up your cryptocurrency wallet addresses in your account. Then install the AnyPay Cash Register app add a real-life business, and tell them you did it over at anypayinc.com. Anypayinc.com. As we go back to David in New Mexico. David, you were telling us about somebody who got found by the police to have been a suicide, but I'm sorry, maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention. What was this case that they were investigating? I'm not real clear on that.
Well, there's a woman who was a lawyer, and her name is Mary Hahn, H-A-N, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and she'd made her living by suing law enforcement when they violated the rights of citizens.
Oh.
And she'd been doing that for a long time and was very successful at it.
She turned up
and
dead?
Then one day she turned up dead, yeah. And when the authorities were called because there was a dead body, called by family, guess who shows up? The Albuquerque Police Department primarily, who was the agency that she primarily sued. So there was a conflict of interest, and they should have been professional enough to immediately turn it over to, for instance, the New Mexico State Police, so that there was not a conflict. But they didn't do that. And then the next thing that they did is they almost immediately ruled it a suicide. And interesting things is they almost immediately ruled it a suicide, and then the OMI, the Office of Medical Investigator or whatever it is, blindly accepted the ruling by the police department that it was a suicide and didn't do their own investigation. They just put it down as a suicide.
Yeah. Well, why would they want to do their own investigation? That's like more work.
Well, and also my experience is, or at least what I can tell the prevailing experience is, internally. That is, when you discover an internal conflict of interest within law enforcement generally doesn't acknowledge that. For example, every case ever where the judge, the police, and the prosecutor all draw their paycheck from the same entity is never considered a conflict of interest, one of the failures of law.
Right. And there are many, if anybody's interested, there's many articles that are findable easily searching on this. And interesting facts is that, for instance, when they were, after they came to the house because of the dead body, the family states that there were 50 to 60 officials from the city and the police department that went in and out of this woman's condominium during this investigation, 50 to 60. And like I said, there are many things written. The allegation there, the insinuation, and in fact a flat-out allegation by the family is that they not only contaminated evidence, but tampered with evidence and even removed articles. And then, of course, there might be an interest by the government officials to search and find out what information might be contained in the home of the person who'd been suing them for years and years. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and another interesting thing is that it was noted that she was supposedly sitting in her car killing herself with carbon monoxide poisoning in the garage. But her body was, they say, awkwardly positioned in the seat of the car, not just, resting there as you might suspect, but awkwardly positioned like it had been placed in the seat of the car. And even more notable is that the levels of carbon monoxide, one of the few things, I guess, that was done by the medical investigator, the levels of carbon monoxide in her blood were far higher than a typical carbon monoxide suicide, almost like insinuating that, or one might draw a conclusion that she was forcibly poisoned with carbon monoxide rather than just breathing carbon monoxide that was in ambient air in, say, like a garage, if you see what I'm saying there. So there's just all kinds of stuff, and this has been going around in the courts for, like I said, a decade. There's been like 3 different court cases over it in the state court, and then in the federal court. So she's been
dead for a decade?
Yeah, this went down in 2010, according to an article I just pulled up off of KRQE.
Right. And one of their successes, the family kept fighting like a bulldog. The cause of death was listed as suicide. They succeeded in taking all of the evidence available to a state court judge and forced the Office of Medical Investigator to change the listed cause of death from suicide to undetermined, because by proving that there was not sufficient evidence to make the conclusion that it was in fact a suicide, and at least now it's changed to undetermined.
Wow.
And So,
well, that's what happens when you investigate the police. Is they take a serious interest in you, and in some cases, if you've uncovered some serious corruption, then you're in serious danger.
Who will police the police? The age-old question.
Yeah.
And the answer is, well, no one.
Well, they'll kill you if they get the chance.
If you try.
Thank you, David, for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Now, some people would say, well, the feds will police the police. See? There you go. Problem solved. But then who polices them?
Right. And then who polices them? And then who polices them?
Right. And how many levels of police do you need? Yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. Look, this is what happens with the monopoly, right? Yeah. People understand that having a monopoly in business is a bad thing. They understand that if there's only one provider of a service in business, that's usually going to be a pretty crappy business. They're going to, maybe not treat their customers that great because they know they can't go anywhere else. They may raise their prices because they know you can't go anywhere else.
There will be a certain lack of innovation.
Right.
Because no competition.
Right. What's the rush? Yep. Why bother doing any kind of research or development or coming out with new, innovations? And so all of that is true of government because you can't really go anywhere else. Yeah, you can move to a different governmental jurisdiction, but then you just have another monopolistic gang that's over top of you there.
Yeah, they say without government, people will just be left unchecked to do whatever they want, but yet government is comprised of people left unchecked doing whatever they want.
Pretty much. And if you want to try to check them, then you have to use their own court systems where they are the judge, where they
are the prosecutor,
where they are the people, pretty much on all sides.
Accusing you of whatever it is they're accusing you
of the case. So, the odds that they're going to rule in your favor, very, very, very low. Every now and then a court will make the right choice, and it's almost like they're throwing people a bone. Like, see? We can make the right.
Sometimes the system works.
System's working.
Every now and again, we do something okay.
See, it's the best system in the whole world. What are you complaining about? 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number. If you want to join us here, we're going to talk more about that awful system and how they caught a man in a dragnet, kind of a different style dragnet, a digital one, a geofence. Which we'll get back into that story coming up here. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And you can take control of the airwaves. I've heard of geofencing in other areas, like used for commerce, for instance. If you walk into a certain area, you might get an advertisement for a business that's nearby.
Tracking your dog.
Yeah, so more coming up here. You can join us. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. You can take control of the airwaves here on this live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, Medicaid, or have private insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM can automatically and easily help you manage your diabetes more effectively. And by using a CGM, you can eliminate the one thing most people with diabetes dislike the most: finger sticks. Now you can automatically manage your diabetes and end the painful finger sticks. Solara Medical Supplies makes it simple for you to have a new CGM. We'll do all the insurance paperwork for you and deliver the newest in diabetic care technology right to your door. Take charge of your diabetes today with the help of a new continuous glucose monitor. Call now to learn more. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. That's 800-547-5331.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You can drop into one of those, and we will join you there, and then you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. It's Ian.
And the captain.
And also want to make sure you know about the Free Talk Live AMP program. That is where Purple Lotus has joined as a Free Talk Live AMP Silver amplifier. And I don't mean he just joined. He's been on there for a while. So thank you, Purple Lotus, for joining the AMP program and for being a Free Talk Live amplifier. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. The idea is if you appreciate the work that we do here, like the fact that we're on 200-plus radio stations, like 209
That's so
is
awesome.
The current number, coast to coast and beyond, all the way out to Guam and Alaska. If you appreciate the work that we do, talking about freedom and liberty and cryptocurrency, stuff like that, on the air 7 nights a week on broadcast radio and, of course, online as well, then please join the AMP program like Purple Lotus. It's $5 a month. You can get some cool perks, some bennies, like access to the supporters chat rooms on our Discord server. There's an AMP-only Facebook group for those of you still on Facebook, and other perks. You can go and get the list of them and what it is that we're doing with the money, how we're spending it, like going to Talkers Magazine's New Media Seminar, which happens. It's kind of like the industry gathering for talk radio in New York City. We'll be there in June.
Well, and just a bit to our listeners, I know sometimes the content of the show is very freedom-oriented, and that's what we do here. And I know as a freedom-oriented person myself, sometimes you kind of feel helpless. You feel like you can't do anything to forward the cause of freedom. So one thing that you can do is help us get the message out there using the AMP program. And so, it's because of you folks, becoming amplifiers that we're able to do what we do and continue it. So thank you.
Indeed. So you can join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com. You can use PayPal, you can use credit card, or Bitcoin BTC. amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue here, we're going to go to the phones and to the phone, and then we'll talk more about this geofencing stuff that they're using to garner information from Google about who is in a specific area around an alleged crime location, and it's kind of creepy. We'll tell you more about that coming up. But Jerome is on the line. First up here, listening in Charleston, South Carolina, to WTMA. Go ahead, Jerome.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. Hey, by the way, did you happen to see who got fired yesterday?
Who got fired?
Did you? Yeah.
No.
You didn't see who get fired? Oh, that's just the way business is done. Old Pinocchio Mulvaney.
Who?
That's just the way Mick Pinocchio knows.
Who the hell's that?
Mulvaney, the chief of staff for the White House.
Oh, okay. Never heard of him.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I don't believe you.
Dude, I've told you this before, Jerome. I don't pay attention to these people. I don't care who they are. One politician versus another bureaucrat versus another politician versus another bureaucrat. They're all a bunch of scumbags who want to tell me how to live my life, and they can go pound sand.
Some folks pay attention to politics exactly as if it is a soap opera.
They do, and Jerome's one of those people. Go ahead, Jerome. What about this guy? I bet you he was a real jerk. I'll give you that. He's probably a crap sandwich.
Hey, you were just talking about.
Did Jerome just squee on the air with us? Was that a squee?
I think he did, yeah.
Hey, you just talked about how they rigged the Supreme Court, and they rigged the Senate because that's where you have a trial, but you don't have any witnesses, any documents, and nobody's allowed to testify like they did for Trump. And now, see, I want to know, is the new guy he hired, Meadows, the retiring guy, is he going to be as good of a liar as the other three that Trump fired? Because this is going to be his fourth chief of staff. So I'm just waiting to see how good of a liar Meadows is going to be than Mulvaney, because Mulvaney was a good liar.
Well, you are right that you do have to be a liar in order to get that particular job. So, I mean, that much is true.
And this is the fourth chief, so it gives new meaning to the old phrase, too many chiefs.
No, this sets a record, But he keeps hiring prevaricators, but they keep getting fired, so they're just not very good at look.
Well, I mean, he's firing all kinds of people.
Away with his lies.
I mean, it would be. I'm sure somebody has been tracking all the people that Trump has fired, right? Like, it's got to be dozens and dozens.
What I want to know is when, much like the television show that Trump was in, I wonder if when he's in the White House, if he sits down with these people and goes, "You're fired."
Yeah, I don't know.
Which I never watched.
Me neither. I've never seen it.
You're fired. Yeah. You're fired. He points the thumb, the Bill Clinton thumb.
All right, so Jerome, don't you have anything relevant, to talk about besides some bureaucrat changing out for another bureaucrat? Because nothing's going to change. He can fire all these people, but it's not like it's going to change anything.
I call you up because I have the opportunity to speak about what I want, and you welcome all calls.
Yes.
Like some of these talk shows where they only want to hear the little lapdogs come up and kiss their what.
We need to get you on a better phone. That's what I think we need to do.
No, they don't want to talk to me because they're afraid of me, see?
Yeah, I know. I understand.
You run an open forum, see? That's
well, I'm glad. I like your calls, Jerome. I enjoy hearing from you. Even, we have different interests, but that's okay because it's interesting to hear what other people are interested in. So
that's what the world is. Everybody's different. Hey, look, we want us to be like these countries where everybody looks the same.
Oh, God, that sounds so boring.
That's like Russia. Ugh. Yeah, that'd be like living in Russia. Who wants to live there other than the Russian people?
Edward Snowden.
We do need. There is a lack of celebration of the differences between individuals, and that's something I personally would enjoy seeing a lot more of.
Yeah. Hey, Jerome. I want to invite you to our Discord server because, your phone's a little distorted
just
sometimes.
A bit crackly.
Yeah, a little crackly.
Hey, I'm paying a lot of money for this phone every month. Don't start that.
Well, no. Hey, we'll get your money's worth, and you sound better on the air. Look, is it a smartphone?
Yes, it is.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a moment to. Is it a Google or an Apple?
Neither one.
Is it Android?
Wait. How could it be a smartphone and be neither one of those? Is it a Windows?
It's a Samsung.
No, okay, but so it's an Android. It's an Android. So what you do is you go to your Play Store. You go to the Play Store app, and then you download Discord, Discord. Download Discord.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you'll make an account. You know, call it whatever you want, Jerome or whatever you want to call it. You put your email and your password in there, and then you make an account. Once you've got the account set up, you just go into your web browser and type in discord.freetalklive.com, and it'll pop you right into our Discord server, and then we'll have you call in on our Discord lines, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. So you'll actually get more of your money's worth from the phone if you do that. I hope you'll do it, Jerome. Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it, man. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, and if you join the Discord server, you can then interact with other Free Talk Live listeners who are in there, I don't know, pretty much all day and all night. There's always something going on.
There's something going on.
Yeah.
It's so hard to keep up, and I stopped trying. I did for a while, and I could only keep up for maybe a few days at a time.
Yeah, you can't keep up for the whole channel.
And then I'm like, wait, this is occupying way too much of my life, so I had to go do other things.
It's fun, though. Like, if I'm sitting on the toilet or whatever, I got something, got a little time.
Replaces the old newspaper.
And there's different forums in there. There's one about Goldbacks. There's one about cryptocurrency. There's
a coronavirus.
There is now, yeah. It's all coronavirus all the time in there. All right, let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. Robert is in Charleston, also listening to WTMA in South Carolina. Go ahead, Robert.
Yes.
Hi.
Years ago in the early 1980s, maybe something like 82, 83, possibly 84, somewhere in there, a good friend of mine who was a right-hand person, a very influential U.S. senator, and she was pretty influential herself, by the way, and she was very helpful to the senator. Anyhow, she was on her way home from work in the Senate office building where she worked to her home in Virginia, and she saw a car. I believe she said it was a Volkswagen that had been run off the road. The driver had been killed, and the papers were all over the place, and the next day nothing appeared in the newspaper or any place in the press. And I just, what do you think about that?
So somebody got run off the road and it didn't show up in the newspaper. Well, I mean, there's all kinds of things that happen every day. I mean, if you pull up the police log, for instance, for wherever you're in Charleston, South Carolina, it's a relatively busy city, right? Relatively populated. I imagine you're going to see dozens of calls, at least, to the police in their police log on one day. And some of these crimes may be horrifying crimes or whatever, but unless it somehow comes across the the news media's desk and they find it to be unusual for some reason, it's not going to get reported on. Some car going into a ditch isn't exactly news in most places.
In this particular instance, they probably classified it as a traffic infraction or incident, and so therefore it didn't make the news because it was just a regular thing. There's so many traffic accidents that don't make the news that, I mean, it's not improbable to think that's what happened.
Thanks for the call tonight, Robert. I appreciate it. 855-450-FREE. That's the toll-free number. That's 855-450-3733. Now, a lot of the news people do have like a police scanner, so they listen in, and if there's something they think is interesting, they will send somebody out. I guess they didn't think that was worth sending anyone to. More coming up here. Hour 2's next. You take control. It's Free Talk Live.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Our history classes start teaching the Constitution around 1776 or even later. The foundation of our Constitution goes deeper than that. Without examining the context that gave America its principles and its founding documents, we cannot understand the foundation of our liberty and our constitutional republic. Liberty First University teaches online classes in a way that all ages find compelling and understandable, from middle school to law school. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,641, silver at $17.23, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,779. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Cibola County, New Mexico Sheriff Tony Mace says he and other sheriffs from around the state are meeting with attorneys this week as they get ready to file suit over the state's new red flag law, signed last week by the governor. During the signing ceremony, the governor said that sheriffs who aren't prepared to enforce the new law should resign. But Sheriff Mace and other sheriffs are taking the matter to court instead. Mace said that the sheriffs will be holding meetings with several different attorneys over the next few weeks to discuss litigation strategies before filing suit to block the law from taking effect. Activist Post reports that in addition to the constitutional issues at stake, there's also the pragmatic argument against red flag laws. As Sheriff Mace points out, when someone has been deemed by a court to be a danger to themselves or others, the law gives the individual in question 48 hours to turn over their guns. And of course, once the firearms are seized, the dangerous person is left to their own devices. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a public health emergency this week after 2 people in the state tested positive for coronavirus. One of the sick residents is an adult with no clear link to the countries where the virus is widespread, leading some to believe there are many other cases and carriers in the state that have not yet been tested. The Mind Unleashed reports health officials are also putting contacts of those patients into quarantine as a matter of precaution because the virus is so contagious. One of the people in quarantine for that reason happens to be a student whose classmates shook hands with Vice President Mike Pence last week. On Friday, just days after being named by Donald Trump as the head of the Outbreak Response Task Force, Pence was at a Sarasota Military Academy in Florida, shaking hands with cadets and posing for photographs. The student, who was at risk, was in quarantine and not at the event with Pence. But a coronavirus patient was mere points of unprotected contact away from the President of the United States. Amazon says it has pulled more than 1 million products for price gouging or for falsely advertising effectiveness against the coronavirus. Activist Post reports the company, in a statement, said that it has always required sellers provide accurate information on product pages and removes those that violates its policies. Amazon said that third-party sellers must follow its fair pricing policy, which states companies can't set a price significantly higher than seen in other places, or sell an item that misleads customers. The removal comes after Wired found sellers gouging the prices of coronavirus-related products, like face masks, or charging people exorbitant shipping costs, according to the magazine. In one instance, the publication found a seller with face masks for as much as 5 times their normal price. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Officials for the Centers for Disease Contraction and Preservation held a press conference urging all Americans to suck on as many doorknobs as possible.
This flu season, the Center for Disease Contraction is recommending that all Americans, regardless of age or health condition, find a doorknob in a high-traffic area, wrap their mouths around it, and vigorously lick and suck it until they contract an illness. We recommend sucking doorknobs covered in a visible film of human hand grease. But the fact is, sucking on any doorknob can increase the likelihood of exposing yourself and your family to deadly pathogens by as much as 450%.
An instructional video released on the CDC's website showcases the proper method for sucking doorknobs while also providing tips for projecting all sneezes and coughs outward, sharing used Kleenexes and toilet paper with as many people as possible, eating 3 meals a day from local garbage cans, and dozens of other easy bacteria-spreading activities.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. Kicking off the second hour here where you can take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE. We're talking about something that maybe a lot of people weren't aware was possible. Maybe you did know it was possible, but you didn't know exactly how it was being utilized. The idea that the police can do what they call a geofence warrant and
so creepy.
Send this to Google or I presume Apple phone service providers and gather information about who was in a specific area at a specific time, whatever radius or diameter that they need to put some people under suspect for committing whatever crime it was that was committed in that particular area. What started the discussion was a story from NBC News about a guy who got a notice from Google out of nowhere.
He got an email
that explained to him that that he was under investigation, that Google was requested, that Google was looking for, or that the police department in Gainesville, Florida, was looking for information about his whereabouts.
Yep.
And that kind of freaked him out, so he and his parents hired an attorney, and that attorney learned a little bit more, and that kind of catches us up to where we were, I think, in the story.
Yeah, the geofence warrant is a police surveillance tool that casts a virtual dragnet over crime scenes, sweeping up Google location data drawn from users' GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and cellular connections from everyone nearby, which is the scary part. These warrants, which have increased dramatically in the past 2 years, and they have a link to another article about that, can help police find potential suspects when they have no leads. So this is a tactic the police resort to when they have no clue. They're like, well, we're clueless. Let's try and, how many people were around that area that day during that time? Okay, Google, tell us with your, fascinating GPS location technology, how many people were around that area? Okay, how many people have been in that area repeatedly? Right? They can drill down on this information and sort it and chop it and slice it and dice it. And then once they get, enough folks that meet that criteria, they can then, say, okay, well, we want the names of these particular people. And that's how this guy got, pulled into this whole bit. So they also scoop up data from people who have nothing to do with the crime, often without their knowing, which Google itself has described as a significant incursion on privacy. So Google is describing this as a privacy violation, but they comply because, well, the state has, guys in costumes with, firearms, and they'll come and, arrest them or put them in cages.
We'll find out where this is going here in moments, but first we go to the phones to, I believe Parnell Correction Facility. Is that what it is, Art? Where are you calling from tonight? Oop, would help if I unmuted it. Let's try that again.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I want to give an update on the lawsuit that I'd filed on the proposed class action lawsuit for the draconian laws that are in the books in Michigan that are still being enforced.
Okay.
That's including like abortion, cohabitation, decency laws, etc. They've got a bunch of them that have been ruled unconstitutional, still on the books, still being enforced. And some of them, like the decency laws, even with your own wife, consensual sex, you can end up to life in prison. But anyhow, and then even some of the cohabitation laws, they have indirect effects as well. You may be denied housing. You could be fired, terminated from your job. Published cases talking about all this stuff. Denied various different private organizations, memberships, etc. But anyhow, they put it to mediation. They're asking for money now, which doesn't make sense because we're not challenging a prison condition under the Prison Litigation Reform Act. But of course, they're making like $40-some million a year on the backs of prisoners for the $400 filing fee. So they want to get paid no matter what. And then they just throw the case out because the John Roberts, the U.S. Supreme Court Justice, has a hands-off policy. So basically, the government can do whatever they want, and to prisoners or to civilians. So it's pretty effective. So they throw out 99% of all the cases. But anyhow, so we're challenging that. We're also still looking for help from anybody that give us, whether it's legal assistance, financial assistance, paying the court filing fees, etc. And of course, anybody wants to look at the case, they can just go to www.pacer.gov, and they can just type in 19-CV 13468. That's, of course, Arthur Rouse versus United States Attorney General. We sued both the state and federal Attorney General because we're trying to get some help from Bill Barr, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
And also, in addition, if anybody wants to any of the information, they can JPay me directly just by typing in www.jpay.com and then just put in ROUSE Rouse and then 274-237, and or they can visit us on the Facebook for Prisoners for Liberty.
So what's the current status of this case? Maybe I missed
right now it's in mediation, and basically they're asking for filing fees, which is $400 filing fee, which we've contacted the ACLU, Lambda, and a few other organizations trying to get some assistance. So far, we've only got definite maybes, no positive results yet. Like I said, and we've also contacted a number of professors and attorneys as well, trying to get legal assistance because they really they won't allow us to represent the class if for the proposed class status.
Because you're not an attorney.
Correct. And of course, we can't properly represent the rights of others, but it seems strange that they could just throw it out and no one's going to represent them. So it seems like it'd be better to have somebody that's halfway decent versus no one.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's the way it's set up because they know that they know that they need a licensed attorney in there so that they can disbar them if they fight too hard, and they do. We have a guy, attorney in Michigan, Jeffrey Feiger, that fought extremely hard. They did everything. They fined him. They reversed a lot of his rulings. They brought criminal charges on him. He ran for governor of Michigan as well. They've done everything possible against that guy. And of course, now he lays down and does what he's told. But that's the way it works. They come after you with criminal.
Yeah, because if you're an attorney, you are an officer of the court before you are the representative of your client. So even though you're contracted to be the representative for your client, before that you owe a duty of allegiance, and you're bound by whatever it is the courts want to tell you to do. So you've got to do what the courts say before you can do what the client wants you to do.
That way they can control you so that you don't fight too hard.
Right.
They want to keep a lot of these draconian laws on the books, so they can continue to control.
Yeah, if you step out of the court's ruling or whatever, you step out of line, then they'll have you disbarred, and your career's over as an attorney.
Fined, disbarred, etc.
Yeah,
and that's why they do what they told, just like they did in Nazi Germany.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I've always gone ahead and done cases pro se, but as you pointed out, you can't do that if it's a class action case. You wouldn't be able to represent other people. But if it was just your case, then it would be a little easier. And then as a pro se person, then you have a little more leeway. You can argue things.
Can you define pro se for our listeners?
Thank you. Yeah, it's somebody who doesn't have an attorney. Somebody taking their own case on in court. And then you can you can then do some more unusual approaches. You can say things that attorneys would normally never consider saying in a courtroom, and you can get away with it in a lot of cases. And you can
exactly. And of course, all the legal articles that I write on this stuff, I file them in the court as exhibits, so that no matter what, even if they do throw the case out, it's documented everything that I wrote. The court, so I'll document it for anybody to look at anywhere in the world. Number one. Number two, they can clearly see that I don't just cite frivolous stuff. I use law review articles from legal scholars across the United States to support whatever view that I'm bringing forward. So I well research it before I go into court. I document everything, and like I said. I dot all my I's and cross all my T's.
Well, I appreciate the efforts, Art. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you there. Art calling from Michigan in prison. One thing's for sure about being in prison, you got plenty of time to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Indeed.
855-450-FREE is our toll-free number. Wish him the best with the lawsuit there. 855-450-3733. More about tracking technologies being used against you coming up.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful. Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies, grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything you want here. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. You want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty? Well, freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue here with you tonight, it's Ian.
And the Reverend Captain Kickass.
If you're just tuning in earlier tonight, Captain Kickass, you brought in a story that we have not yet gotten through. It's from NBC, and it's about geofencing technology used in the case of police investigations. So geofencing, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've heard it used in sort of the advertising world. I've got a guy from what was Clear Channel, now iHeartMedia, who's been pitching me on doing some advertising, because I do ads here in the Keene, New Hampshire area promoting cryptocurrency. And so he's like, well, we can get you geofencing where you can...
Gives you demographic information, right?
Well, you get demographics. You can basically, they're using the info that they have on telephone, users that have their app or whatever, and or associated apps. They've got like a network of apps that somehow they can get data from.
Right.
And it's used in the case of, well, if you want to advertise a thing to a certain zip code or a certain set of zip codes, you can do that.
Right.
Because they've got an app, the iHeartMedia app, which, by the way, I'm not saying you should do this or anything like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet, but it's interesting, the technology they have now. It's like, oh, well, if somebody's within this particular geographic area, they will receive the ad. You don't want to advertise to someone in New York. You want to, because they've got millions of listeners all across the United States,
right?
And only some of them are within this zip code, so you can specifically target them.
We've talked about this once before with something, a different article unrelated to this, where, like, if you sign into like the free Wi-Fi at your local department store, your Walmart or whatever, that you're actually turning over some data as far as like, at least within the store, where you stop and what are you looking at, all that kind of, oh, this guy spends a lot of time in the shoe department or whatever.
Well, they were also using Bluetooth for that too.
Right. And so like that makes sense with what you're saying, that like this would be used to advertise to people in different and new ways.
Exactly. And in the case of the government, it's being used, the location data. I mean, you kind of already knew this, right? Like, you should have already known that if Google has your data, that the government could come for it. And what was interesting about this story was that Google actually gave the dude that they're suspecting of committing a crime here, who he says he didn't do it, They're actually giving him a heads up saying, hey, the police are looking for your data. We're going to go ahead and give it to them unless you file a lawsuit.
Right. If you don't respond within 7 days to this thing, then, yes, we're required to turn over your information.
Right. What else do we need to know?
So he was confused and worried. He examined his phone. He's an avid bicyclist. He used an exercise tracking app called Runkeeper to record all of his rides. The app relied on his phone's location services, of course. Mm-hmm. And you've seen this if you're like a skier or a bicyclist, a swimmer even. Like it tracks how many laps you've done. For skiers, it can show you how fast you did your run and all that kind of stuff. So this app did all of that. He looked up his route on the day of March 29th, 2019, of the burglary and saw that he had passed the victim's house 3 times within an hour as he was doing his loops around his neighborhood. He says, it was a nightmare scenario. I was using an app to see how many miles I rode my bike, and now it was putting me at the scene of the crime, and as a result, I was the lead suspect, not just a suspect, but the lead suspect. So the victim was a 97-year-old woman who told police she was missing several pieces of jewelry, including an engagement ring worth more than $2,000. 4 days after she reported the crime, Gainesville police, looking for leads, went to an, I'm going to butcher this, Alachua, A-L-A-C-H-U-A?
Alachua. Mm-hmm.
Alachua County judge with the warrant for Google. In it, they demanded records of all devices using Google services that had been near the woman's home when the burglary was thought to have taken place. I don't know what near means in this example. The first batch of data would not include any identifying information. Police would sift through it for devices that seemed suspicious and ask Google then for the names of those users. Kenyon's the attorney, said police told him that they became particularly interested in McCoy's device after reviewing the first batch of anonymized data. They didn't know the identity of the device's owner, so they returned to Google to ask for more information. And so that's just, reasserting that they get generic information without any identifying. They look for patterns that they think might be suspicious nearby. So all these things are unquantifiable. Might and near, right? How do you quantify that? And then they go back and ask for specifics about those particular users. So that request triggered the January 14th notice of the technology giant that was sent to McCoy, part of its general policy on notifying users about government requests for their information. So apparently Google as a corporation has a policy about notifying people when governments request their information. There is a link to it in the story, but I'm not going to cover that right now. The notice, however, was McCoy's only indication that the police wanted his data. He would not have found out that the police were even looking at him had Google not emailed him and said, hey, we got to do this unless you do this, right?
Interesting.
And the Gainesville police declined to comment. While privacy and civil liberty advocates have been concerned that geofence warrants violate constitutional protections for unreasonable searches, law enforcement authorities say those worries are overblown. Well, of course they are, because then they lose their
want total control.
Their nifty toy. They say police don't obtain any identifying information about a Google user until they find a device that draws their suspicion. And the information alone is not enough to justify charging someone with a crime, they say. Google geofence.
No, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Google geofence warrants have been used by police agencies around the country, including FBI. Google said in a court filing last year that the requests from state and federal law enforcement and authorities were increasing rapidly. This is where the part where I was like, oh my God. Increasing rapidly by more than 1,500% from 2017 to 2018. 1,500%. And by 500% from 2018 to 2019. Those are huge jumps in percentage that this tool is being used. So, once the government goons get their hands on a new toy, there's nobody they won't use it against.
It's true.
It's a
and
great.
What they would use this for, as they pointed out, you're not going to get likely charged with a crime simply because you were in the vicinity of the crime. However, they will come talk to you. Or they'll try to talk to you. If you talk to them, now again, I don't support people committing actual crimes against other people, their violence or stealing or whatever. So I do support the police investigating crimes like that. But if they're looking for a drug dealer or something like that, then I'm against them doing that kind of investigation.
Yeah.
And so this could give them suspects, and then they go talk to the suspects, and they see what they say. And then what you say may get you charged.
But they wouldn't otherwise be able to obtain this type of information
without these geofencings. 855-450-FREE, and you can go into the Google Maps app on your phone, and it'll show you the places you've been. So it's all there. And if you think you can turn it off,
you
I don't think you can. Even if they say they're turning it off, they probably still have a record. They're just not showing you. More coming up.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it. Wait on the calendar. Now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Talk Live. You can dial toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can join us online anytime you want over at freetalklive.com. Please enjoy the various features that you will find there, including the Free Talk Live feeds. We've got podcast feeds, a couple different ones, a few different options. You can go to feeds.freetalklive.com. There's kind of like the normal feed that's got all the content in it. It's got Free Talk Live's full shows. It's got what we call the Daily Digest, which is like a 20, 30-minute version that a gentleman who has been volunteering to do this basically for the last few years, which is amazing. Riley Blake from Utah, thank you for doing all that.
Good guy. I love the digest. It helps me keep up with this show.
Yeah, I mean, if you're time limited, then the digest is a huge help because this is a 3-hour-long talk show that in podcast form is 2 hours of just straight talk content. If you cut out all the commercials and the news breaks, and he cuts out what he thinks is the most relevant portions of the show. So you get all that in the main feed, or you can subscribe to a feed that has only the digests. Or you can subscribe to a feed that has only the full show. So you can kind of customize it how you want. Go to feeds.freetalklive.com and you can learn more about that there. And also, don't forget bitcoin.com. If you are new to cryptocurrency, you're new to Bitcoin, you've heard a lot about Bitcoin on the news, you want to learn about the basics about Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, then get over to bitcoin.com. They can help you with that. They've also got a great news site at news.bitcoin.com. Plus, you can buy or sell Bitcoin Cash on their new local site at local.bitcoin.com. There's so much to do. There's a lot to that site. Go and check it out at bitcoin.com. It's a great place to get started learning about cryptocurrency. That's bitcoin.com. As we continue here, we've been talking about this geofencing. Do we pretty much cover the story at this point, Captain, or is there more that is relevant and worth sharing?
There's a bit of commentary from some police that have used it. There have been very few court challenges to the Google geofence warrants, mainly because the warrants are done in secret and defense lawyers may not realize the tool was used to identify their clients. The only exception that we know of is an accused bank robber in Midlothian, Virginia, who's fighting the charge, arguing the geofence warrant used against him was illegal. That case is pending. It goes on to just talk more about, what happened to the guy, what he went through, what he found out. The disturbing part for me were like some of the comments about, oh, well, if you've done nothing wrong, you don't have anywhere to hide. And, all the usual statism that goes along with somebody who's just being railroaded by the government for the first time in their lives.
Well, the problem with that, it's always worth rebutting that claim because it is not an uncommon thing to hear people say. So whenever it gets brought up, it's always worth talking about it. You don't know what you have to hide. Sorry, you don't know because you don't know what all the laws are. Have you read them?
I haven't. No, there are so many laws that nobody, and not even like a team of, not even all the people on the planet can get together and tell you how many there are. Go ahead and find that. Go Google that. If you don't believe me, go ahead and do your own research and go, how many laws exist?
Right. It would take lifetimes for
many
you
lifetimes.
If you just read for like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day or whatever, it would take you multiple of your lifetimes to get through the laws, even if you could understand them. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've tried reading some laws before, and it sucks. It's hard to understand. They're obtuse. They're hard to read. The words that you're reading don't actually mean what you think they mean. They're legalese, so they're written in a language that is for lawyers.
Yeah, this is what I refer to this as what they so there's the set of books, right? And everybody kind of knows this. These are the, all of the laws that folks are more commonly aware of and sort of the overt things, right? Like, oh, you get pulled over for speeding, or, oh, you shouldn't jaywalk, or, oh, you committed a murder, right? The overt laws. But then there's a second set of books. So once you're accused of something, there's all this procedural stuff underneath the laws that is the second set of books where you get even more royally screwed than you do by just being accused of violating one of the known entities on the top set of books. So it's kind of like we refer to things as the deep state. This is one particular portion of that exists that most people don't know about, and where the legal land, I believe, as Mark Stevens refers to it, is underneath all of these laws. All the procedural stuff where if you screw up one little thing, you are toast.
Right. Don't object at the right time or
don't
whatever.
file the right piece of paper.
Which is why they want you to have an attorney, because they know a lot of this sort of arcane, obtuse stuff that you're talking about. And it's just so frustrating. So, no, you can't know what all the laws are. You can't know if you've broken the laws. Some people have said that the average person breaks 3 or commits 3 felonies a day, and they don't even realize it. Not that they're harming anyone, not that they're actually doing damage to another human being or any property. It's just there's so many damn laws, so many prohibitions, so many things that are illegal that you violate them regularly without realizing it. And if they wanted to go after you for it, they could.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you definitely have something to hide. You just don't know what it is. So better to keep quiet.
Just to wrap up this bit, this guy did win his case. His lawyer actually used some of the same tracking data to clear him. So it ended well for this guy.
Well, now, wait a minute. When you say win the case, they didn't bring charges against him.
No, but I mean the charges were dropped.
They brought charges in the first place?
The attorney was able to have the legal challenge dropped. So they were challenging, his attorney was challenging them against using this data, saying it was unconstitutional, and they were victorious in saying that it was unconstitutional, at least for this particular case, by using some of the same tracking data to prove that he did not even go into the home, right? Because you could tell his bike path, went, and he was here and here and here at this time, and, that kind of a thing. So it ended well for him, but the part that I wanted to mention was the case ended well for McCoy, Kenyon said, but the larger privacy fight will go unanswered.
Of course.
As usual. So, and of course, we'll post this link to our Twitter feed and that kind of a thing. If you want to go and read the full article yourself, you're welcome to do so. There are some things that we've sort of breezed over.
You can follow our Free Talk Live Twitter and Mastodon, which is a better alternative to Twitter because it's decentralized. But you can go to twitter.freetalklive.com. You can go to toot.freetalklive.com. That'll follow our Mastodon feed. And also our Telegram channel, where all the content's the same on all 3 of these things. Telegram.freetalklive.com. So it's your choice how you want to follow the show, and that's where we post things like the show prep and such. Let's go to Tom. He's in Hudson, New Hampshire. If you want to join us, you can. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom. Go ahead, Tom.
Okay, so there are 3 Democratic candidates running for president, and the Democratic Party is about to hold a debate, and the top 2 of them get to debate.
Right.
And they're keeping Tulsi Gabbard out of there. This is important because they're going to be debating, they're going to be voting on Tuesday in Michigan, and that's one of the states where you've got a lot of affiliates that are carry the program on Saturday. It's important for them to understand why they are. It's obvious why they are excluding her. They know that she would win. She did pretty well in a debate long ago, and she helped knock Kamala Harris out of the race. They're scared of her message,
right?
And also they're so scared of it that crooked Hillary even went so far as to accuse her of being a Russian plant. And if there were any evidence of that, then of course I don't think she'd still be in the National Guard right now. She would have been kicked out a long time ago if there was any evidence of that.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard is an interesting character. I mean, I got to say that of the Democrats this whole time, she's probably the least evil of them because she is somewhat critical of the warmongering state.
That's what I was about to bring up.
Yeah, she's by no means is she completely anti-war, but she is more
probably the most anti-war, I would guess, but
more so than the others.
I disagree with the caller that this is important.
What do you mean?
I don't think that any of the Democratic debates or the Republican debates, I don't think any of it's important to anyone at all.
I mean, it's not going to make a difference one way or the other, but it is interesting from the perspective, and thank you for bringing this up here tonight, Tom, from the perspective that somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, who has a viewpoint that is a threat to the status quo, at least as far as the militarization and the militarized police state and all that they won't let her in the debate.
And this is exactly what happens.
Right.
That's why it's not important.
And not only that, they've actually changed the debate rules to exclude her specifically because she made the qualification. Now that she has a delegate, now they're raising the number of delegates you have to get in the debate.
Get healthy, not high, with 100% pure CBD powerful natural pain relief from Veterans Vitality. GCN listeners, have you ever thought about how CBD may help you? I'm sure you have heard about the many benefits of CBD. Well, here's your opportunity to try before you buy. Created by veterans and for everyone who deserves better choices, our CBD is derived from organic hemp, grown in the USA and third-party tested. Veterans Vitality CBD saves you as much as 25 to 50% over our competition, and a portion of all sales is contributed to veteran nonprofits and events. Many of our customers have experienced improved quality of life, help with anxiety, PTSD, and overall well-being. Our products do not contain THC. They are safe, non-addictive, effective, and 100% legal. GCN listeners, get your free trial bottle of premium CBD by simply paying shipping and handling at GCNFreeCBD.com. That's GCNFreeCBD.com. Again, GCNFreeCBD.com. Offered by Veterans Vitality Premium CBD.
Mortgage rates have dropped 25%, the lowest mortgage rates in years. So maybe you should drop everything and call Zoom Refi. Refinance your home now and slash your mortgage payments. Take cash out and save maybe hundreds of dollars every month. Zoom Refi mortgage rates are super low. Zoom Refi closing costs are super low. And Zoom, we approve you right over the phone, even for no income check loans. Big drop in mortgage rates. Big opportunity for you to save money. Call Zoom Refi today. 888-291-9729. 888-291-9729. Save on mortgage payments. Save on closing costs. Call Zoom Refi. 888-291-9729. Advertising by marketing entity Zoom Refi. Zoom Refi is not a bank or financial company. Calls and other inquiries may be forwarded to third-party lenders who are solely responsible for reviewing, approving, and servicing any loan. Zoom Refi is not affiliated with any state or federal agency and does not provide mortgage advice or help. No income check loans are for investment properties only, and income must be sufficient to service debt.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You hop into one of those, we'll join you there. You'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. And tonight it's Ian.
And the captain.
Also want you to know that the Next Generation Wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, they say you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in their mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at DivvyProject.org. That's D-I-V-I, DivvyProject.org. Let's go to Joe. He's in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, listening to WEEO on the FM band. Go ahead, Joe.
Hi there. How you doing?
Good, Joe. What's on your mind tonight?
Love your show.
Thanks.
It always gets me provoked, though.
Good.
Because I think you're giving the cops a bad rap.
Oh no, why?
It's like they have a job to do. Okay.
Yeah.
And imagine you're a cop and you're out there trying to catch the bad guys.
Okay. Well, then that would put me in a different position than most cops. Because a lot of cops are out there just arresting teenagers and, people for possession of marijuana and other things that aren't really bad guy stuff.
Breaking the law.
No, well, that's different than being a bad guy, right? Because there's a lot of stupid laws out there, aren't there?
Well, aren't they supposed to enforce the laws?
Well, they are supposed to, but they also have discretion. So, like, if they were actually like a decent human being, they would only enforce laws that are actually worth enforcing, like murder and rape, arson, property destruction. Isn't that what you want the police out doing rather than busting, somebody for having an underage drink?
Well, I mean, we have to have guidelines for anything, And
yeah, we do. They're called principles. Have you heard of the non-aggression principle?
Well, explain.
Okay, the non-aggression principle is simply the idea that everybody can do whatever they want so long as they don't harm another person or another person's property.
It's a preschool level kind of rule.
Are you talking about like marijuana, underage drinking, that type of thing?
No, you said that people need guidelines. I'm saying there's one guideline that pretty much covers all of the, we'll call it a moral compass that's been pounded into everybody's brains, either from, whatever's taught in schools or even religions, right? This is a common thing shared across most religions, which is, it's kind of like the golden rule, right? You've heard do unto others as you would have others do unto you. It's kind of like that, except it's called the non-aggression principle, and it's a principle because it suggests, and quite rightly as far as the evidence that I've seen, that if you just abide by it, you will be a decent person.
No. I will disagree with you there, Captain Kickass,
Really?
because non-aggression is just a baseline of how to interact with other human beings. It doesn't define whether or not you're a decent person. It's certainly because you can
it
still
guides
be a
your
total
behavior
a-hole.
with interacting with other people.
All it does is it says don't hurt other people. That's all it says. You can still be a total a-hole and be adhered to the non-aggression principle. So in my opinion,
I sit corrected.
In my opinion, as far as human interactions are concerned, it doesn't go far enough. But it is a baseline of this is the bare minimum that you ought to do, or rather ought not to do, which is to say not harm another human being. And unfortunately, Joe, the police are regularly harming other peaceful people as part of their duties and their job, and that's just not okay, is it?
Well, I think it's just like any other group of people. You have bad cops, you have good cops, you have bad radio announcers, you have good radio announcers. I'm a truck driver. You have good truck drivers, you have bad truck drivers.
Do you have any evidence to support the good police, bad police scenario?
Well, I think it's just pretty much common sense. You have people who will abuse their authority.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think it's an abuse of my neighbors when the police are going over. Let's say I live in a college town. Right now it's Saturday night, and I guarantee you, if I were to go out of this studio at 10 p.m. when we get off the air at Eastern Time, and I were to go down to the college neighborhood, and mind you, I've done this a number of times, so I'm not speculating, that if I were to go down to the college neighborhood, I would be able to, within a matter of minutes, if I monitored where the police were, listened to the scanner and, went to go and see what they were up to, I would find them harassing college students for things like walking down the street with a beer in their hand. And that's just not...
Underage drinking.
whether it's underage or whether it's just open container.
Because these are college kids. They could easily be 21, 25,
right.
whatever.
There's also a law against open container in a lot of towns in the United States. There's some cities that actually don't have it, like Savannah, Georgia, where it's totally legal, apparently, to have open containers. And you know what? Everything's fine.
So you're against laws.
Well, I'm against anything that has a prohibition on peaceful behavior. So
Right.
I'm not opposed to laws against murder or rape or arson or property destruction or anything where there's an actual victim. But if there's no victim in my mind, there's no crime, Joe. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have the police investigating crimes with a victim than spending their time harassing teenagers or young people or anybody else who hasn't actually harmed anybody else. And so that's where I say that, no, the people who got into policing for the right reasons, and I know they exist. I've met these guys, okay? I know that there are cops out there who really wanted to go after the bad guys. And then they were told, well, tonight you're assigned to the underage drinking duty. And it's like, that's not why they signed up for this, because every one of those cops, I guarantee you, every one of them had a drink under the age of 21. Guarantee you. Well, you really want to make a cop uncomfortable? Ask them that question on video, wherever it is you come up on one of them. Ask them if they had a drink under the age of 21, and they won't answer you. They won't answer. They don't want to admit it.
You call it harassing. I would say they're probably just monitoring the area and just kind of giving a presence of law.
I don't know. Have you heard of stop and frisk?
No, it's called an arrest.
Things don't get out of hand.
It's not. No, it's an arrest. If they see a young person, if you're 20 years old and you're walking down the street with an open container, or if you're 40 years old and you've got an open container or what they consider to be an open container, they're going to stop you.
These young people can learn the laws and abide? Don't you think these people can? Don't you think that you're putting?
How can you learn the laws when there's so many of them?
How many laws have you read, sir? When was the last time you took the law books out and read through them?
Are these college kids who don't even know that you're not allowed to? Why,
Joe,
how have we come so far?
Joe, I want you to tell me.
We don't even know.
Please tell me the last time you took a criminal code book and read through it.
I'll tell you what. I don't know all the laws. I will tell you that. Okay.
When was the last time you even read through any of them?
I know enough that if I'm getting into an area like, say, drugs or alcohol, that I would think that I'm not going to go out and do this in public. I'm not going to go out.
What is wrong with going from one party, walking down the street with a beer in your hand, to another party?
Or home, for that matter.
Or home. What's wrong with that?
You mean there's just no control, no self-control in these people? They got to just... You act as though there's no governing...
I'm not saying they're not in control of themselves. I'm not saying they're stumbling into the road. I'm saying they're walking from one place to another. They're controlling their beer while they're walking from one party to the next.
They're not harming anybody?
What is the problem?
I'll tell you what. You're going into an area... I think you guys are thinking that marijuana is legal, or should be legal too, right?
Well, it is in several states at this point, but yeah, of course, I think all drugs should be legal because nobody's harming anybody else. It's your own body.
I think you need to ask two groups of people about that. One, teachers. Two, police, because they're the ones.
They're both agents of the state.
What does their opinion matter?
What do you mean? These young kids who come into class high as a kite.
Dude, I've gotten high with like grade school teachers, right? These people are using drugs themselves.
You're saying the teachers are drug users?
Yeah, I knew a gal.
When you have 30 kids, you got to control and teach something to, and you have one kid or two.
Got to control them, Ian.
Dude, I'm not talking about during the school day. I'm talking about Saturday night with somebody walking from one party to the next. Why can't you just say, wow, that's a really dumb law. We don't need to have that crap. Leave those kids alone. Thanks for the call, Joe. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Now, do I think that people should abuse drugs or abuse alcohol or use it in inappropriate circumstances? No. But should those things be illegal? Absolutely not. If you don't want somebody in your class, kick them out. More coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward Liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the Liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,641, silver at $17.23, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,779. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Cibola County, New Mexico Sheriff Tony Mace says he and other sheriffs from around the state are meeting with attorneys this week as they get ready to file suit over the state's new red flag law, signed last week by the governor. During the signing ceremony, the governor said that sheriffs who aren't prepared to enforce the new law should resign. But Sheriff Mace and other sheriffs are taking the matter to court instead. Mace said that the sheriffs will be holding meetings with several different attorneys over the next few weeks to discuss litigation strategies before filing suit to block the law from taking effect. Activist Post reports that in addition to the constitutional issues at stake, there's also the pragmatic argument against red flag laws. As Sheriff Mace points out, when someone has been deemed by a court to be a danger to themselves or others, the law gives the individual in question 48 hours to turn over their guns. And of course, once the firearms are seized, the dangerous person is left to their own devices. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a public health emergency this week after 2 people in the state tested positive for coronavirus. One of the sick residents is an adult with no clear link to the countries where the virus is widespread, leading some to believe there are many other cases and carriers in the state that have not yet been tested. The Mind Unleashed reports health officials are also putting contacts of those patients into quarantine as a matter of precaution because the virus is so contagious. One of the people in quarantine for that reason happens to be a student whose classmates shook hands with Vice President Mike Pence last week. On Friday, just days after being named by Donald Trump as the head of the Outbreak Response Task Force, Pence was at a Sarasota Military Academy in Florida, shaking hands with cadets and posing for photographs. The student, who was at risk, was in quarantine and not at the event with Pence. But a coronavirus patient was mere points of unprotected contact away from the President of the United States. Amazon says it has pulled more than 1 million products for price gouging or for falsely advertising effectiveness against the coronavirus. Activist Post reports the company, in a statement, said that it has always required sellers provide accurate information on product pages and removes those that violates its policies. Amazon said that third-party sellers must follow its fair pricing policy, which states companies can't set a price significantly higher than seen in other places, or sell an item that misleads customers. The removal comes after Wired found sellers gouging the prices of coronavirus-related products, like face masks, or charging people exorbitant shipping costs, according to the magazine. In one instance, the publication found a seller with face masks for as much as 5 times their normal price. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
This is the Onion Week in Review. In local news, a succession of terrible events failed to befall a 33-year-old riding a longboard to his digital media job Monday. Shocked bystanders helplessly watched as media developer Jake Reston skated safely through Manhattan traffic without flipping over on his obnoxiously oversized skateboard and smashing his stupid face into the pavement, with many saying they were horrified at the sight of the floppy-haired little shit walking into his office unscathed.
It was one of the most horrible things I've ever seen. He wasn't even hit by a car. I was just praying that someone would step in and throw him off the stupid little skateboard and punch him right in the mouth.
In other news, a study finds owning a cool leather jacket is more rewarding than raising a child. A community garden sprouts the first condom wrapper of spring, and a little turtle gorges on an entire raspberry.
Tonight in the cabin, schoolmarm's telling about how they talk about corpulation down the school. Only a fool needs telling how to screw. Just let the pecker guide you. But come on, listen anyhow.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're kicking off the third hour here of this live Saturday edition of the show. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And the captain.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. We've been talking about the police and tracking devices, like the phone that you probably have in your pocket or purse, or your car with you or wherever, and what that can lead towards possibly you being caught up as a suspect in a case that you had nothing to do with.
Yeah, people are afraid that governments are going to institute like the chip in your head, right? Like you have for your pets. Right, to find out where they're. Oh well, if we do that to humans, they'll be able to track us wherever we go. Well, guess what? They already can do that. The only difference is that the chip, it's in your phone.
It was voluntary too,
and not in your.
You chose
bought it
to do it. So we can talk about that. If you want to jump in there, you can bring up whatever you want. Just a few moments ago, we had a gentleman on the line with us. I think it was Pat, who was kind of calling in. He was defending the police, defending prohibitions without even really seeming to understand what he was defending, not really being able to, when we brought an example to him of a ridiculous law, of which there are plenty out there, because look, I'm fine. Go ahead, cops, go ahead, enforce murder laws, enforce arson, enforce against rapists.
Test
please.
Some rape kits.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a problem. If that's all the police were doing, there would be very little for me to criticize. but instead they spend an inordinate amount of time going after people for violating stupid traffic laws that everyone violates, like speeding, or violating prohibitionist laws, like having an open container while walking from one place to another. No one's being harmed by that activity. And it's not bad for somebody to violate a bad law. There have been historically many bad laws that have deserved violation. Good people violate bad laws. For instance, the Fugitive Slave Act's a great example of that, where it was illegal to help a slave, an escaped slave, escape their slavery.
Right.
That was a crime, to hold on to that person, in the same way that it was illegal to hold a Jewish person in Nazi Germany without, reporting them to the police. Same thing. It happened here. And people look back and they're like, well, of course that was wrong. But a lot of the folks who believe that the police should enforce all the laws would have said the same thing in 1830 or whatever.
And you nailed it there. And the caller even said as much. He said, well, I believe that, and then followed it up with that, there's good police and bad police and good, and any blah, blah, blah. But it's belief. Yeah. And I challenge anybody to look at the evidence of your belief. If you believe that the police are mostly good and there's just a few bad apples that give them a bad reputation, please go and do the research and be able to back up your belief with facts and evidence about that, because it's been my experience that when you go and you look at this stuff, and it's all publicly available from the government themselves, right? And so it's biased, but like when you go and look at that, the evidence is overwhelming that they are obviously an institution built for the opposite of what most people believe.
And we're going to go back to your calls and thoughts here. We got Josh. He's on the line in Sioux Falls, Iowa. You're on Free Talk Live, or is it Idaho? Josh, I'm sorry. Sioux Falls is Idaho, isn't it?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Sorry about the South Dakota. Where the hell are you, Josh? Where is Sioux Falls?
Well, all I can say is that fuck right.
Oh my goodness, you can't say that on the radio. I'll tell you that, buddy. Not very nice.
You're getting flushed.
Not very nice. So we go on here. Where is Sioux Falls? Is it South Dakota?
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay. We continue here. Is it going to be one of those nights? Well, we'll find out. Toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Our callers have been good so far tonight. We've had some good calls, some challenging calls, good discussions, good information. And so I've been a member for a long time of a group called Cop Block.
Yes.
I was one of the original
right?
members of that. I've got badge number 5. Okay, so I was there in the beginning.
You're like a founder.
I'm an OG, man, of that. And, I've done a lot of this activity of going out and observing the police and recording the police and standing up for my rights and standing up for the rights of others and informing others of their rights. And the reason I have to do it is because it's not just a few bad apples. And remember, the rest of that phrase, the rest of that saying is spoils the bunch. A few bad apples spoils the bunch. Suggestion being that it catches onto the rest of them, that it infects the rest of them with their badness, or at the very least, it pushes. Like, the reality of it is, if there is a good cop, then they keep quiet because they're surrounded by bad cops who are going to hurt them or possibly, do something really bad to their family or something like that if they were to reveal the extent of the corruption that they are privy to on a day-to-day basis. So, again, I'm not saying there aren't decent cops who've tried to do the right thing or who quietly do the right thing, like if they catch some kids with, some alcohol underage, that they'll just dump it out and let them go. Right? That's happened. I know it's happened. Happened to me once.
Wow.
We've had cops call the show.
Lucky bastard.
We've had the cops call the show and talk about, decent, better cops have called the show and given examples of how they've let people go in certain circumstances like that. But if they're on, if they've got their chief with them, and then they come across something like that, well, then they got to make an arrest.
Yeah.
Because they can't just get away with it because there's somebody who's a higher up who's watching them. So there's no perfect situation, but it would be better if we didn't have prohibitions like drug prohibition or alcohol prohibition that are then used as an excuse to harass young people. Because, look, I don't think any cop actually believes that if they arrest a teenager or a 20-year-old for having an open container or underage possession, that that's going to stop them from drinking. Do they really believe that?
Didn't stop me.
No. And as I pointed out, most cops have had a drink before they were 21 too, so they know it's hypocrisy even as they conduct the arrest. They gotta know it's for revenue. That's all it is. That they know that as soon as they let that person back out, well, next weekend comes, they're going to be partying with their friends. Maybe they'll be more careful. Maybe they'll take the beer they have or the hard liquor that they have, and instead of carrying the bottle of Jim Beam down the street, they'll pour it into a sealable Coke bottle,
right, or a 7-Eleven cup, a big gulp, or something. Right.
So maybe they'll take an extra step to where they may not get arrested, but they'll still be doing the same thing. That's again not a crime because there's no victim in my mind.
Yeah.
But to them, it's a crime because some stupid politicians wrote down some crap on a piece of paper and act like it's all important. Let's continue here. We've got, I think John is on the line in Lincoln, Nebraska. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, John.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, John.
I just want to say, with enforcing the law, it's the law. People vote on it. The majority of people vote on that stuff.
No, they don't.
The people who do vote create the law. So, if you want to change it,
that's not how it works. No, you don't generally vote on laws. You generally vote on politicians, and then those people go and create stupid laws.
Sure. But the thing is, people, when you got a president who's telling police officers it's okay to, maybe slam somebody's head into the car before you push them in the car or whatever, you gotta get out and vote to change that.
How is voting going to change it? Because whether it was this president or the presidents prior to them, police have been slamming people's heads into things.
Curb stomp.
Yeah, I guess gone are the days where they actually try to mediate a situation.
When were those days?
Those days did exist. They used to be called, and John, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. At one time, they actually did refer to them as peace officers. Now, you don't hear that terminology very commonly anymore.
I've never heard a police officer referred to as a peace officer.
Yeah, not in our lifetimes.
Other than in the historic content.
Right, not in our lifetimes, but they have in the past where if they were called to, let's say, a bar fight or something like that, they would go in and they would restore the peace by taking the people who were involved in the fight and separating them from one another and getting them out of the bar and taking one home or ensuring that they leave the premises and go away from one another, and then they'd leave, and that would be the end of the
Sounds
story.
like a bouncer.
Well, a bouncer can do that same kind of task, and ideally having a bouncer would prevent the police from being called in the first place. But that's one of the things that the police were sort of doing as peace officers, was restoring the peace. You might have heard old stories from decades ago, like within the last 100 years, where a cop would show up, somebody's drunk, get pulled over. They'd give them a ride home.
Right, yeah, I have heard that.
It doesn't happen anymore, but it happened in the past. Now they're called law enforcement officers, and it's sort of more of like this automaton role where they're just like sort of robots, mindlessly enforcing the law, putting people in handcuffs. We must arrest. We're coming up.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with Omega-6, Omega-3, Vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Don't miss this year's LibertyCon with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO John Mackey, Congressman Justin Amash, and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith. Attend 2 spectacular debates. Is government necessary, and does capitalism require government intervention? Network with over 70 pro-liberty organizations. This and a whole lot more. April the 3rd through the 5th in Washington, D.C. Visit LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on LibertyCon.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You are invited here if you want to join us. Toll-free number 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. LibertyCon is coming up, and it'll be happening in less than a month from now.
Oh, yeah.
Free Talk Live will be attending this event. I have never been to a LibertyCon before. It's a Students for Liberty event. So they definitely want younger people to attend. Student discounts are heavy for this. There's a nice deep discount if you're a student on these tickets. But the regular price tickets are also shockingly affordable, and you can save $10 on the already shockingly low-priced tickets over at libertycon.com. When is it? It's coming up April 3rd through the 5th, and it's going to be in D.C., so that's the only downside.
The District of Criminals.
Of the event. But there's a lot of reasons to attend this.
If ever there were a place that needed more liberty.
Yeah. Let's see here. John Mackey, the Whole Foods CEO, is going to be one of the keynote speakers there, and there's a bunch of other great speakers. Plus, they're going to have debates. One of them called Is Government Necessary? With David Friedman versus Timothy Sandfer. Friedman will argue government is not necessary, while Sandfer will argue that it is. Gene Epstein will also be taking on Stephen Pearlstein. Epstein is the economics editor for Barron's, and Pearlstein is from the Washington Post. They'll be debating, does capitalism require government intervention? You can be part of LibertyCon. Go to libertycon.com to get your tickets and use code FTL like Free Talk Live to save $10. We will look forward to seeing you there as we go back to your phone calls and thoughts. We're going to go first to Derek calling us from Pennsylvania, listening, I think, to WJET. Go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, nice to talk to you.
Thanks for being here. What's on your mind?
Well, you guys talking about, laws that are questionable and how they can affect people.
Yeah.
I bought it like Spice legally in one state. The
Spice.
the synthetic marijuana.
Yeah.
K2, whatever you call it, wherever
right.
you're from. and then got caught with it in another state where it was a felony.
Oh my God!
So
What
I
state?
bought it at a gas station in one state.
Where is it a felony?
Got caught with it. It was in Alabama where I got caught. I spent a year in jail waiting for a trial.
Oh my God!
Wow! How did they catch you?
I was speeding, or what happened? Because this was a while ago. This was like 6 years ago. I was with a friend of mine that he pulled out of a parking lot at night and turned his headlights on, like right after he got out of the parking lot. But hold on.
Well, I want to hear more of the story, because turning the headlights on doesn't necessarily mean you get caught with spice. So, like, what happened? They pulled you over
for not having the headlights on in the public roadway at night.
What it was is we pulled out of a place that was probably kind of shady.
Okay.
He's black, I'm white, and I don't. It was Decatur, Alabama.
We're on, by the way, Decatur.
He's black, I was white.
So they pulled you over for being with a black guy in a car at night in Alabama.
No. Like I said, he turned on his headlights after he pulled out of a parking lot.
Right.
So
arguably at night, right?
Well, why? Yes. It was dark out.
Yeah.
It was well lit. There's plenty of street lights and all that, but whatever.
But that's the reason they pulled him over, was because he didn't have the headlights on when he started the car?
Yeah. Well, no. He pulled out onto the street before he turned his headlights on.
Okay. So because he did the right thing, they pulled him over. So they wanted an excuse to pull this guy over. But then how did that lead to you getting caught with the spice?
He was a felon, but he was trying really hard to turn his life around. He'd been working, he was working with me. We do spray foam installation. He worked very hard for the entire year I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
He was really, he was paying all his fines. He was staying clean. There was nothing like that going on. But because he was a felon, they were allowed to search the car, and I had that on.
Wait a minute.
My point
is that a thing? Hold on. I've never heard of this before. Just because you're a felon?
Well, that's what the cop said. I don't know.
Oh,
God.
Was he on probation?
Yeah, no, he was on parole probation.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah, like I said.
That's probably why.
They said, he was trying to get his life together.
But wait a minute. One other thing, Derek. I just want to know. It's interesting to me to find out these things. Did you have the spice on you? Was it on your person?
Yeah.
So you let them pat you down even though they only had the right to search his car?
Yeah, they said that because I was in the car and he was a felon, they had the right to search me.
Man. And then they sat you in jail for a year while you awaited trial?
Yes.
Did you end up taking a plea deal or go to trial?
I took a plea deal.
What was it, for time served at that point?
Well, it was a weird situation because I wasn't from that state, and they wanted to put me on this like weird probation that would make me have to stay in that state for another 2 years.
Oh God,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just took the plea, and so now for the rest of my life, I'm a felon. I can never own a gun. I can never, do a bunch of things for the rest of my life.
All because you wanted to catch a buzz off of this synthetic drug. I mean, that's
that's a terrible drug. Nobody should do it.
Yeah.
But to ruin somebody's life forever because they
it wasn't the spice that ruined your life. It was the police. It was the system.
Exactly.
It was prohibition that ruined your life. You may have decided on your own volition that, you know what, this spice stuff, it ain't that great, and you might have stopped using it on your own.
I was a very functioning drug addict, and now I'm a less functioning non-drug addict.
Derek, thanks for sharing that story. Was there anything else you wanted to share with us tonight?
No, that's all.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. Without knowing all the details in a story like that, it's hard to, and I can't give legal advice. I'm not an attorney, but I will say this. If I were in that situation, first thing I would have done was gotten video, record that situation as it's going down. I'm going to presume that the police were telling the truth when they said that they could search his car, because if he was under parole terms or probation terms, then maybe that's part of it. Because, like, I know that if you're on probation, they can come in and toss your house.
Being a parolee, it's like, I don't know, almost slavery.
Yeah, probation, certainly, they can toss your house anytime they want, so it would make sense that they could toss your car, but that wouldn't make sense that they could search the person of a passenger. You still retain your own rights to your own privacy. If you're not on probation yourself, just because you're with somebody that's on probation doesn't all of a sudden negate the fact that you have a right to privacy.
Right.
So I think that they BS'd him on that one, and the cops can do what they call a Terry Pat, where if they pull you over and you're not a felon, if you are just a normal person being pulled over, the cop can, supposedly for their own safety, pat you down looking for weapons. So if they feel a little plastic baggie in your pocket, there's no way they could claim that they believe that was a weapon. So them saying to turn out your pockets, because of that, should be inadmissible in court. That could have probably have been challenged, but then again, you got to have an attorney and know what you're doing.
And we hear all the time about people who are told a thing by a law enforcement officer, and it turns out to not be true, because guess what?
All the time.
The law enforcement officers can lie to you. That's
right.
But if you lie to them, that's a criminal offense.
In some places it is. Certainly it's a criminal offense with feds. That much is true. 855-450 free like freedom. Better off not speaking to the police than telling lies.
Amen.
855-450 free like freedom. You can join us here. You can take control of the airwaves. The live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live continues.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
It's being called the must-have tech gadget of the year. The Samsung Apex, which hits shelves today, streams video into your left eye, internet into your right eye, and sucks your dick all at the same time. Samsung spokesman Neil Werner is projecting the biggest sales in his company's history.
Are you kidding me?
This thing does everything. Plus, it sucks your all right? And I know what you're thinking. And yes, ladies, there is a version for you that eats you out. Hanging up Apple, we beat you the punch on this one. Samsung's got you by the balls.
In spite of the almost $1,000 price tag, customers are raving about the device.
For my career, I do need the internet and TV, and my dick sucked all the time.
I already have a TV and a girlfriend and a laptop, but to have all those in one device would be really nice.
Even a run of bad press about unsafe working conditions in the Apex factory in India have not dampened sales projections.
Yeah. Factory, switch up, blah, blah. How about you just plug your eyeball straight into the internet and get your dick sucked?
This is the Onion News Network.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, take control of the airwaves here and bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms at discord.lrn.fm. That's where you can join us and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio. By the way, if you want to get on the lines with us, you got to go through the Discord because right now the phones are full.
We're packed.
We are packed to the max on our phone lines. So if you want to get on, either you're going to have to keep dialing or just call in on Discord where it's super easy to get in there. Go to discord.lrn.fm.
Are you 100% sure that you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? I know I do. Tom Young, the author and founder of the CFO Project, can show you how to be debt-free in 9 years or less, including your mortgage without spending a single dollar more. With the current state of the federal debt at $23 trillion and the unfunded liabilities at $127 trillion, you can't wait to take control of your money. Don't let your retirement savings be used to bail out the government. Instead of building a plan, Tom can show you how to create strategies now to save money without penalties and as little government involvement as possible. His new book, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, will show you exactly how to build wealth and eliminate debt at the same time. Get your free copy now at cfo-project.com. Invest in yourself and your family today. Get your free copy of The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project at cfo-project.com.
All right, we continue here with more of your calls and thoughts. Let's talk to Bob in West Virginia, listening to WVTS in Charleston. Go ahead, Bob.
Hey, I'm one of those college kind of guys back in the day.
Yeah.
And I went to Georgia Tech, and I also went to the Florida State. Now, on Friday night, I wouldn't walk down to the watering hole. I would jump into my 65 Mustang with a 302 and a four-barrel carburetor, and I'd drive down there with my plush seats, find parking, which is all jammed up. Believe me, the whole place is jam-packed with cars. You go into the watering hole, you know, your favorite bar and grill, and you sweet-talk girls, get them to drive home with. I've never walked down to the watering hole, believe me. I think most of the people that are down there are just jamming the place. For example, you go to homecoming or something like that. You're not walking down to the water hole. You're driving down there in your ride. You know, you got your nice car, and you're out there to have fun and, you know, pick up some sweet things.
Okay.
You're not there to, you know what I'm saying?
I'm
so
following you.
people
I'll
aren't
take your
just
word for
walking
it.
down there. They're jumping in their car drunk, and I have done that many times. I have jumped in my sweet Mustang drunk many times, but I would call it buzzed. But then again, you know, I'm not for or against. I'm not talking on prohibition. I'm just talking about the fact that people go down there, aren't going down there to drink Shirley Temples on the Raw. they're down there to, you know, pile on
What's the point?
pictures. And the point is, they're not walking down there. They're driving there and driving back.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a time, too, and I'm old enough to remember this time, when there was no law against drinking and driving, and there were no laws against open container. And in fact, I remember some folks, as a youth who, were sort of uncle-ish to me, who had vehicles, and they would literally drive around with open beers. They would have an open beer.
Yeah, right.
They would have an open beer, and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm going over to Bob's house," and they would walk out of the house with the beer in their hand, get in their car, set their beer in their cup holder, and drive away, or drive away with it in their hand.
How about drive-through liquor stores, man? You ever
Well,
seen one of those?
That's maybe why the cops are stopping them down there, because they know they're going to be jumping in their ride and driving away with.
Well, look, if you're causing a problem, I mean, if you're drunk on the roads and you're a danger, then you should be taken off the roads, in my opinion. I mean,
well, then there's a bunch of them. Everybody in the bar. You go over to these places. People are just hooting it up, and you see people driving by, and they're putting their butts on the glass of the windows and just raising holy, what. They're not. They've been drinking. I mean, that's the way it is.
I don't understand what you're getting at here. We all know what happens in bars.
I'm getting at the fact that they're drunk, and that's why the cops stop them.
Okay.
That's why the cops are stopping, because they're drunk, and it increases the possibility that you're going to crash your car and harm somebody.
Yeah, I think we all understand how that works. I'm not sure what it is. What new information are you bringing us
That's
here?
exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's because when people are down there getting drunk, they want to put a little bit of a governance on it to make sure that people are understanding that there is a problem with drinking.
Okay, but that's not what we were talking about earlier. I just want to bring our listeners up to speed.
I know, you were talking about walking down to the water hole, and I take umbrage with that.
Well, you can take umbrage with it. Maybe that's the way things where you were. But around here, we live in a small place where it's easy to walk from where you are to where you want to be, and you don't have to drink and drive. Huh?
We don't know that. We know that the universities are places of hoopla and lots of go down.
Dude, I live in a college town. I know exactly what it's like. Okay, I'm here.
This town is very walkable.
It's no different anywhere else, youngin. I tell you.
You think you got age on me, and that's what makes you win this? Look, I live in a college town, dude. I've been out on party nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. There's young people walking everywhere in this town because they can. And you know what? You can't win anyway with these cops, because even if you try to walk from the bar to your house, they can still stop you. They can stop you if they think you're too drunk walking. And then they can take you and put you in a jail cell on what they call protective custody. Or no, what's it called? Something like that. Protective something or other. Where it's not actually a crime, but they can still take you away from your freedom and put you in a cage for a night.
Because you were being responsible and
walking home.
Yeah.
Right.
They can get you for public intoxication if you're walking home and you're stumbling. Right? So you can't win.
You can't
There's
win.
no winning.
And the other thing is, and thank you, Bob, for the call tonight, Mr. Know-It-All. The other thing is, because of government regulations is the reason why in places like what he was talking about, these towns where everybody's got to drive to the bar. Yeah. You know why? Because you can't have a bar in your neighborhood.
Right.
Because the government gang, in all their wisdom, their, city council or their town planners and these bureaucrats that think they know everything about how to run your life. Well, we can't have businesses next to residential. We can't have. My God, it would be anarchy. If
can't have a bar next to a school.
Trying to think.
No, there is one here in town.
Bars near schools.
There's a bar right next to a school here in town. Guess what? It's not a problem.
Yeah, it's not a problem at all. And we actually live in a place. We're in New Hampshire, where we're doing this show from, in little old Keene, New Hampshire, a little town of 23,000. They call it a city, but it's not really a city. No. But when I moved here, and there aren't as many of them now, but there still are some of them. There's like these little kind of corner shops, basically little shops where they've got sandwiches and convenience items and alcohol, and these things exist in neighborhoods. There's like over a few streets over from this studio, there's a street called Elm Street where there's an Elm Street market.
Yep.
And it's right in the middle of houses.
Yeah.
It's just
like,
a house.
Isn't it like a house converted into a store? Maybe it's got a apartment above it or something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's just a little neighborhood shop. It's pretty cool.
And it's super convenient. Yeah. You need to go grab some alcohol at 10 o'clock at night or get a sandwich or whatever. You can walk there.
Yep.
And it's nice to have that.
This town is very walkable, and I say that as a guy of much weight. right? Like I'm a hefty dude and I don't really like walking. But guess what? This town, incredibly walkable.
It's encouraging to walk because it's easy. There's no reason not to. Why get in the car if you can just bike over or walk over to a place? And so if we didn't have zoning restrictions where the government tells you, oh, you can't have that there, where if you could just build whatever you wanted, wherever you want, as long as you own the property, you can put something up. If you're not in a deed-restricted neighborhood, for instance, then we could have more convenient places like a bar for a neighborhood where most of the people going there would be walking to that bar, which would dramatically decrease the amount of drunk driving.
Yep.
Anyway, more coming up here, 855-450-FREE if you want to join us here. So yeah, I don't have a problem taking drunk people off the road. I don't have a problem with that at all. On the other hand, I also don't think drunk driving should necessarily be a crime.
Well, it brings into question, too, you're punishing people before a crime has been committed.
Right. I don't think it should be a crime if you're like driving 5 miles an hour on the side of the road. You're not a danger to anybody there. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-976-1460. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-976-1460. That's 1-800-976-1460. 1-800-976-1460.
Join me, George Norrie, in Indian Wells, California, May 29th to June 1st for the Contact in the Desert UFO Conference, an epic weekend of exploration into UFOs, ancient civilizations, crop circles, and so much more. Over 150 lectures, panels, workshops, and events with leading experts: Paul Hellyer, Linda Moulton Howe, Nick Pope, Emery Smith, Stephen Greer, Russell Targ, Doc Wallach, Leslie Kane, and more. Get your tickets at contactinthedesert.com. It's time to make contact. Contactinthedesert.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. Moments remain. Maybe enough time for you. If you're already on the line, we'll probably get you on here in just a moment. If you want to try to get on, you can. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. And if you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash, then you need to hook up with AnyPay because they do some amazing work. We get the pleasure living here in Keene, New Hampshire, the crypto mecca, of going out and using AnyPay all the time. I used it today to buy my my lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever it was that I had before. I guess it was technically breakfast. But anyway, down at the local bar here, and there's several places in town where you can use AnyPay. It makes it easy to pay with cryptocurrency. I paid with Bitcoin Cash tonight. I use Dash a lot as well. And you can actually start earning passive income if you can get a local business to start accepting cryptocurrency payments, specifically Dash and Bitcoin Cash, with the AnyPay platform. Here's how you do it. You download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your own cryptocurrency wallet addresses. So you set it up for yourself on your own device. And that way you can kind of experiment with it and get used to it and see what it's like. Test it out. And then once you're feeling comfortable with it, you go and set up AnyPay Cash Register on the whatever point of sale device they have, like a tablet or something at your local favorite business in town. And then tell AnyPay you did it over at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com. They will get you set up as a AnyPay ambassador. And you can start earning a residual passive income over time on every Dash and Bitcoin Cash purchase made at those businesses.
And if you have a business and you're wondering just how exactly that goes in, most cash registers, even the older ones, have a button called like other, right? Check, that kind of a thing. So these devices are completely programmable for something that is not already contained within that particular cash register or application.
Yeah, there's usually a way to do that with whatever point of sale system.
It's really not that difficult to do. So what you're telling me, Ian, is that if I have a place of business that I frequent and I would like them to take cryptocurrency, I can go through these steps and then get them signed up. And then whenever somebody spends crypto there, I get a piece of that?
That's how it works.
That's pretty awesome.
Yep, it is pretty awesome. Anypayinc.com. Let's go to Patrick. He's listening in Alpena, Michigan to FM, I believe, to WZTK. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hi.
Hey.
I honestly had a story about the whole police incident, but then you got talking about Bitcoin, and I actually changed my topic.
That's fine. Whatever you want to talk about. Go ahead.
I was filing my taxes not too long ago, but they wanted me to... One of the questions was, have you bought any cryptocurrency? And so my question is, I'm like, isn't that a private thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's none of their business that I bought cryptocurrency.
Right. Yeah, it's none yet. And they don't have a box for that. They have yes or no.
Right.
They don't have the none yet box.
Okay. Well, that would just, after the little infomercial you did there, I was like, wait a second, I have another question.
Yeah, I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but my advice is don't check either box.
Yeah, what happens if you don't?
Nothing. I put no, and then they just moved on with their life.
No, I'm saying don't check either box.
I have cryptocurrency. I'm saying.
Captain Kickass is saying don't check either box, and I'm saying what happens if you don't do that? Like what?
Well, no, I just said no.
I know that's what you did.
It's a yes or a no.
The guy in the studio here with me, Captain Kickass, is saying don't check either box, and I'm asking what is it that would happen?
There's no. You have to check one or the other, but just
or else
if
what?
I hit no.
That's the question we're asking.
I can't move forward if I don't hit no.
Oh, you're doing some sort of automated
file, right, online.
It's not. I'm not rich by
now,
any means.
Isn't it? Now, just to clarify, I haven't filled out one of these tax forms since 2004, so it's been a while. Aren't these signed under the penalty of perjury?
That's what I was kind of wondering. It comes down to this weird question: why are you asking about cryptocurrency?
Because they want to know all your business. They want to know everything about you.
Well, and they don't follow it up with, How much did you buy? Where did you buy it? Well,
They will.
don't. They
Well,
don't.
I didn't hit
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
I didn't hit yes, so I don't know. They might have asked how much.
Yeah, I bet
because
they
they're
will.
going to consider it a
Here's my
income.
question for you, Patrick. Look, I got no problem with people giving the government false information, but do understand that there is a risk involved. You know, I don't think that's any of their business personally, but here's my concern. If you've purchased cryptocurrency through some form of trackable means, meaning if you went on Coinbase or Kraken or, you know, one of these other domestic cryptocurrency exchanges where you can send a wire transfer or you can somehow ACH dollars to that platform and then buy cryptocurrency, there is a record of you purchasing that cryptocurrency. So you said you have cryptocurrency. Did you acquire it through private means, meaning buying it from another individual, meaning it's off the record, or did you buy it through some sort of on-the-record system?
No, I didn't buy it on the record system.
Okay, good. Then you're probably safe answering no to that question. If you did buy, if you did buy cryptocurrency through one of these online systems that has your social security number, they got your name and address. Then
none of that is relevant. No.
Then my concern would be that may lead to further, it could lead to further investigation and possible perjury charges if indeed those are signed under the penalties of perjury. So
but I don't own a lot of it. I was just curious because I was amazed, as I'm actually a tax professional and I've never seen that question.
Yeah,
it's new. It's new as of this year.
Yeah, make no mistake. The system is not only the government but the banks are very, 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 very afraid of cryptocurrency. They are just now beginning, even though cryptocurrency has been around for over a decade. They are just now beginning to realize the OF moment, right? So they're like, oh, wow, this could completely undermine our entire industry.
Here's the other thing I would say. As far as people who did buy through one of these online buying houses or whatever exchanges, Coinbase and such, if you did buy cryptocurrency and you don't currently have it on Coin, like if you didn't keep it on Coinbase, if you transferred it out to another wallet, remember, even though Bitcoin is trackable, there's still a sort of pseudonymous aspect to it, meaning that whatever wallet you transferred it out to may or may not have been yours.
Right.
It may have been someone else's wallet. So it could very well be true that even if you bought $10,000 worth of cryptocurrency, that you don't have it anymore. Oh, whoops, I lost it. Oh, darn it, someone stole that. Or, oops, it got lost in a boating accident. I forgot the password to that hardware wallet or whatever. There's all kinds of things that could happen to it after the fact, and there's no real way they can know for sure that it went to you, or that maybe they know that it went to you the first step, but then it went to another wallet. How do they know that one's yours? They don't. So just because for those people who did answer yes to that question, I wouldn't think that you could necessarily know what happened after that to your cryptocurrency. You might have it all lost in a boating accident.
Mine is on a USB drive, and that's it. There's never been any trackable thing. That's why I was kind of curious, because I thought cryptocurrency was untrackable.
No. Bitcoin is completely trackable. The thing is, it has the ability to be somewhat, the term they use is pseudonymous. It's not anonymous in that it is an entirely trackable system, but when you spin up a new Bitcoin wallet, so let's say you download Edge Wallet or you download another cryptocurrency wallet that's not one of these managed systems, one of these what they call custodial systems like Coinbase is, where they have custody of your coins, they have custody of your keys to your coins. If you have your own wallet that you just start without asking anyone's permission, without having to give up your username, without having to give up your social security number or whatever, then no one else knows you have that. So if you go and create an Edge wallet right now and you don't put it in your own name, you just create it, username and password, and boom, you've got a new wallet. And you don't tell anyone about it, and you move all your cryptocurrency into that, and nobody knows that that's your wallet at that point. So there's still some level of you can use this in a semi-anonymous fashion, but you got to be careful.
Some anonymity to it too, because that's what it is. When I bought it, I mean, this was years and years ago. I just kind of keep track of it.
Cool.
But I was like, I didn't ever give them any of my information. How do they know about it? You know what I mean?
They don't.
And so that was my question. Actually, when that came down to it, I was going to give you a story about a police situation a few callers ago, but at this point, that was more of my concern.
Very good, Patrick. Thank you for your call here tonight. I definitely appreciate hearing from you as we continue here quickly to Jabaya in the Bronx. Go ahead. You're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, hey. As well as you know, I'm a big fan of this program.
Thank you.
Recently discovered it, and I actually wanted to ask, a question because I've been thinking about the toxicity in the politics in America right now, and I think a lot of it stems from the fact that, we've allowed like the federal government to be like such a big part of our lives, and I've recently.
Jabaya, I want to say something, and I apologize for taking you at the very end of this show. It sounds like you've got a really interesting question to ask, and it's probably going to take more than 10 seconds because that's about all we have left. What I want to invite you to do is call at the top of the show tomorrow. So call at like 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's when we start our Sunday edition, and we will start the show with you. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
If you got time, we want to hear from you then. Thank you, Jabaya. We'll look forward to it. And we'll see you tomorrow online. In the meantime, check out lcaptainkickass.com.
You can be the smartest person in the room on the topic of the Constitution if you watch this free webinar. Liberty First University is online training on the principles of liberty and the origin, proper application, and defense of our founding documents and the principles they contain. You will receive an education worthy of the highest institutions of learning, as if the founders were teaching it. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Do you want to work from home, get paid, and forward liberty all at the same time? Free Talk Live is looking for account executives and appointment setters. If you've got a phone, a computer, internet connectivity, initiative, and a belief in the non-aggression principle, you're qualified. Earn up to $85,000 a year full-time, $25,000 a year part-time. Set your own hours, work from home, spread freedom. Join our team and work with one of the biggest leaders in the liberty movement. Apply now at sales.freetalklive.com. Sales.freetalklive.com. Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,641, silver at $17.23, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,779. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, Cibola County, New Mexico Sheriff Tony Mace says he and other sheriffs from around the state are meeting with attorneys this week as they get ready to file suit over the state's new red flag law, signed last week by the governor. During the signing ceremony, the governor said that sheriffs who aren't prepared to enforce the new law should resign. But Sheriff Mace and other sheriffs are taking the matter to court instead. Mace said that the sheriffs will be holding meetings with several different attorneys over the next few weeks to discuss litigation strategies before filing suit to block the law from taking effect. Activist Post reports that in addition to the constitutional issues at stake, there's also the pragmatic argument against red flag laws. As Sheriff Mace points out, when someone has been deemed by a court to be a danger to themselves or others, the law gives the individual in question 48 hours to turn over their guns. And of course, once the firearms are seized, the dangerous person is left to their own devices.
Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin.
Your news now continues. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a public health emergency this week after 2 people in the state tested positive for coronavirus. One of the sick residents is an adult with no clear link to the countries where the virus is widespread, leading some to believe there are many other cases and carriers in the state that have not yet been tested. The Mind Unleashed reports health officials are also putting contacts of those patients into quarantine as a matter of precaution because the virus is so contagious. One of the people in quarantine for that reason happens to be a student whose classmates shook hands with Vice President Mike Pence last week. On Friday, just days after being named by Donald Trump as the head of the Outbreak Response Task Force, Pence was at a Sarasota Military Academy in Florida, shaking hands with cadets and posing for photographs. The student, who was at risk, was in quarantine and not at the event with Pence. But a coronavirus patient was mere points of unprotected contact away from the President of the United States. Amazon says it has pulled more than 1 million products for price gouging or for falsely advertising effectiveness against the coronavirus. Activist Post reports the company in a statement said that it has always required sellers provide accurate information on product pages and removes those that violates its policies. Amazon said that third-party sellers must follow its fair pricing policy, which states companies can't set a price significantly higher than seen in other places, or sell an item that misleads customers. The removal comes after Wired found sellers gouging the prices of coronavirus-related products, like face masks, or charging people exorbitant shipping costs, according to the magazine. In one instance, the publication found a seller with face masks for as much as 5 times their normal price.
Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
On June 4th, 1919, a group of bold, passionate men took it upon them.
Americans across the nation made their voices heard this week as they demanded more mind-blowing guitar solos. Calling for the solos to be, quote, face-meltingly cool and go on for well over 10 minutes, Americans stressed that all guitar solos from now on should be equally as kick-ass as those in Van Halen's Hot for Teacher and AC/DC's Thunderstruck, or even better.
It should start out really slow, you know, and then get faster and faster until they're all the way up at the top of the guitar neck and bending the notes like crazy, so it's like, and then there's all this awesome pyrotechnic stuff going off in the background. They should all be like that.
And in this week's local news, a report noted that on its surface, Glenbrook, Ohio is a small town like any other, a peaceful, all-American town. And yet the reports
All right, and welcome back, everyone, to this Saturday night edition of Questioning Authority. Today's episode is titled Fear Talk Live because, why not? I've been watching The Stand, right? Stephen King's The Stand, the miniseries, and I think I saw like the first hour and a half, and then I did start reading the comic also, which is different from the miniseries. I don't know which is more faithful to the book. I don't have time to read the whole the book anyways. It's like when a guy said when Stephen King has a gall to say he's gonna make the American Lord of the Rings. I know I ain't got time for that. Oh, no, I didn't. Yeah. So there's that. Okay, so I can't look. So, and also South Carolina happened today. CPAC happened this week. I'm going to be talking about the movie The Hunt. The Hunt is coming out, so I'm going to be talking about that and how like these, they'd say like what's the thing is right now there was a flip-flop, and I also had like a 9-hour rehearsal today, so I'm just like all over the fucking place. Going to be talking about the movie The Hunt, which is finally getting released after, I know it sounds as if I took a trip back in time to like the 60s, but believe it or not, so-called conservatives were trying to censor that movie. We're going to be talking about that. I'm so glad that they're finally releasing it after all the bullshit. So I call Fear Talk Live today because I want to talk a little bit briefly about the coronavirus. I'm sure everyone is absolutely sick of hearing it. I mean, I don't really know. Like for me, the jury's still out because you have two extreme sides, right? On one side, you have Trump and Limbaugh saying that, the coronavirus, it's fake news, it's overhyped, and they might be playing it down just to protect the stock market. And then on the other side, you have like Mike Adams and Alex Jones saying that, this is you better have a month's worth of storable food because the government's going to force everyone to stay in their homes for a month, and then Antifa leftists are going to go out and kill you. And so you don't really know where so you don't really know where that leaves us. Is it like are things getting better in China, right? Like even Trump, he said that it appears that the Chinese have a grasp on their situation, or are the Chinese lying and it's actually worse than we suspect, right? Or is this all a whole thing, a fucking psyop? I don't know, but there's a lot of people getting sick on campus, like a lot more than I noticed usually, right? Like, and just people in general. Like my mother was absolutely sick as a dog this week for, to the point where like usually she hates missing work and she tries not to miss work. She had to miss an entire week. At my rehearsal today, two members of the cast, they came in with a fucking fever, right? They didn't have a thermometer, but they said they felt feverish. They were having chills. One of them passed out, and I'm thinking like, I'd work in I work in public, or I used to, obviously I'm going to school now, but I used to work in public school. And if a kid had a fever, you had to return them home, right? Because that means they're incredibly contagious at that stage. And what a lot of Americans do, maybe I don't know if it's just an American thing, but fever is actually beneficial as long as it doesn't get past like 105 or something in adults, or I think higher than that in children, or lower, slightly lower than that for children, because it could cause brain damage. But what a fever does is it's like dropping napalm on whatever infections in your body, right? It helps kill the thing. But and so by taking whatever, I don't know if it's anti-inflammatories, usually it's aspirin, people say, by trying to kill the fever, you actually prolong your illness, from my understanding of it. So I'm just stocking up. I took a double dose of, zinc and vitamin D supplements. I'm really hoping that, I'm washing my hands, using sanitizer, so I'm hoping I don't come down with something. But, we don't know. I got, you never know with these sort of things. Other things, part of my lifestyle. But here we go. So here, I got an email today from the college. I posted the first one about the coronavirus in the Discord a few days ago. So now I got an update. So I got this one today. Good afternoon. We have an update on the status of a coronavirus. The CDC has changed the status of Italy to be level 3. Avoid non-essential travel. 4 of our study-away students are located there. We have talked with all 4 students and their families to communicate the need for the students to return to the United States as soon as possible. Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, I nearly shat my pants when I fucking read that. What are you doing? And and people were talking. What was Trump was being interviewed, and they said, "Are you thinking?" I don't know if I don't know if he's done the same, like considered put Italy on the same tier as China regarding a travel ban, but he absolutely fucking ought to. I mean, like, and I don't care what the hell happens to the economy. I mean, if this is as bad as some people are saying, shut down the, I'm going to get kicked off of LRN now. But in this case, yeah, I mean, like, quarantine the country, like, not obviously not like the stand level martial law or whatever, having troops, in hazmat suits, but at least do something. So, I mean, I can't fucking believe it. So we're going to bring them back to the States as soon as possible. No, I mean, this is how this is like, I mean, maybe I should call into the Alex Jones show and talk about this. Okay, so I'm not crazy, all right? I'm not crazy, but this is freaking me the fuck out. Here we go. We are assisting them with travel, and the students will remain off campus for 14 days. Okay, well, no, I don't care if they're off campus. I want them, quarantine them in the fucking military base or something. Jeez, for 14 days, which is the length of time needed for symptoms to present and a possible diagnosis to be made. We are providing the students with information on how to care for their health, how to monitor for symptoms, and what to do if symptoms occur. So, I mean, it's probably just a bunch of useless bullshit because, I mean, whenever a college talks about the flu or any of these things, they just say, the number one things they say is, oh, get your vaccine. And it's like, that's not going to help. There is no coronavirus vaccine, and if there was, I don't think I'd fucking trust it. Our faculty and Provost Johnson will work with the students to help them fulfill their requirements for credit. So, yeah, because that's, we have a fucking global pandemic right now, and that's what we're all worried about, them, making sure they get all their credits on time. And, in the previous in the previous email they sent, they said that they are looking into the possibility of just shutting down campus for however long if things get that bad. We will continue to update the community as needed, and prior to spring break in the meantime, any travel to Italy should be
Is anybody walking around with masks on campus?
No, not yet. I'll be the first, though. I am looking into it. I am, and if you look online, there's not too many for cheap now. I'm gonna go to Walmart sometime this week to see if I can pick up masks.
Wait, you're worried about this?
Oh, big time, yeah.
I thought you were making fun of them freaking out.
No. Well, no. I'm making fun of a response, right? I mean, I'm not gonna say if it's like, as I said, I don't know, right? And I don't think anyone knows
You're a hypochondriac?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like today when like, let's say, if you said something like, oh, yeah, my throat hurts, and then you sneeze, like 5 minutes later,
you'll start feeling.
And, and it's like, this chick who is, I mean, she was like, oh, yeah, she's like, yeah, I have a fever, but I really need the credit, so I'm going to come to class anyways. And then, like, 5 minutes later, I start feeling chills, and I start sweating. And I'm like, where's the window? So, yeah, but I mean, I am making fun of them in the sense that I think it's a horrible idea for them to like bring these people back. But so please also note this. Oh, here we go. We will continue to update the community as needed and prior to spring break. In the meantime, any travel to Italy should be postponed. Please also note that the status of Iran is now level 3. For this reason, the same recommendation applies to Iran. Well, I don't know who goes to Iran anyways. I mean, like, it's especially after the Soleimani thing. I'm surprised they didn't put China down on there, right? Because there's obviously more. Well, I don't know if there's any like exchange students from China, but I mean, I imagine more people go to China than they do they would Iran, so that's odd. For details on travel precautions, please visit the U.S. Department of State site here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your continued attention. And I mean, one thing that's, I don't know, that I find odd, or maybe it is actually more serious than we think, is that just a few weeks ago, the media's number one issue was, xenophobia, right? Oh, because this virus came out of China, people are going to be mean and xenophobic to Chinese people, and then now we're saying Trump isn't doing enough. So I don't know what their angle is. And this is the issue when you have the fucking Lugenpress of this lying media. When there actually is a crisis, you don't know if you can trust it. That's why it's so dangerous, right? These propagandists. So both Fox and CNN. So this is Questioning Authority. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Questioning Authority Live. I almost said Fear Talk Live just out of habit. This is Fear Talk Live. No, I'm not gonna. I don't think I have anything left to talk about the coronavirus. We have here in the chat. What's going on in the chat, by the way, everyone? What's going on to? Let's see here. Let's go to the. We have D Live chat going on. Neutral username. Captain Fatass, Mike, the health scammer Adams isn't to be taken seriously. Oh yeah. I used to. I remember a few. What was it? The episode Vincent Wrangle's The Health Ranger, where Mike Adams is like talking about politics, and he said that we might have a situation where Democrats are going to go door to door killing Trump supporters, and it's funny that I do plan on getting him on the terrestrial show as a guest because that's going to be fucking lit. That'll be fucking hilarious to have Mike Adams on. And I have no qualms about that because he was going off on Rush Limbaugh talking about the coronavirus. And Mike Adams said, he's like, hey, Rush, you stick to politics. I'll stick to science. And I'm like, okay, all right, Mike. I'll stick to talk radio and politics. You stick to science, so I think it'll be good. Here we go. We have the Tranarchist in the on-air chat. What's going on? We have Gumby, who's Mortified Penguin. A long-time listener, keeps changing his name. Commenting, I use the term Lügenpresse, which I probably should explain to what people unfamiliar with German are. That word must have filtered on social media to Vincent too, because I've read about that term in the last few days. No, Mortified Penguin, I knew about that term a while ago because it was on one of a list of words that ought to be banned. And so it's German for lying press, lying media. It's been around since the 19th century, so it's not like something created by Goebbels or whatever for all the the pearl clutchers in the potential pearl clutchers. And it was it was on like a band, right? Where it's like they said that there's like the banned books month where you should, listen to, you should read banned books or something. So in this case, it's the opposite. There was, they said that this word should be banned. I'm trying to find where is it. Okay, I'll try and find it. I'll try and find it later. But there was a move. Damn it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to waste time. Waste time. But I think it's a great word, right? Because it's all just one word. It's lying media, and that's why it's so dangerous to have a lying media, right? Where a media is just propaganda, either like in the coronavirus thing, where you might have CNN overhyping it just to make Trump look bad and try and crash the economy, or you have Fox News underhyping it. Playing it down, right? Playing it down in order for there not to be panic, so the stock market still goes up. So you can't trust either of them, and and so it's dangerous. We live in a shitty time, and so hopefully that this coronavirus thing isn't as serious as some people, the fearmongers, are suggesting it is. But as soon as there actually is a serious bug, a super bug like that, man, God help us. So maybe this is what we need, right? This is sort of like a wake up call, right? To get people just thinking, okay, how much medical supplies do I have in case there's a collapse? So hopefully this is just a test run, a warning. So now let's talk about South Carolina. It was an afterthought for me too. Like I don't know, I've never. Maybe it's just because I've only lived through a few elections. I've never heard about an election happening on a weekend. But I mean, it makes sense to have one on a Saturday. So 90% of 90% is reporting, which is a lot more than fucking Iowa, and I forget how fast New Hampshire reported theirs, but. So Joe Biden looks like he's going to be staying in the race. He got 28 delegates and 48% of the vote. So he got a majority of the delegates there and a majority of the vote. And I guess the analysts, they said this is where he was going to make his stand because he's allegedly more popular with people of color voters. And he also had some politician there endorse him. So Joe Biden made out with most delegates, 28. Bernie Sanders got a fourth of that. He got 19.9% of the vote and got 7 delegates. So in third place, and I was told that he dropped out, Tom Steyer is in third place. He got 11.4% of the vote, 52,000 votes. So I guess, reparations, got him a decent amount of the vote, but it didn't get him far enough. I've been told that he's dropping out. I'll verify that in a moment. Pete Buttigieg was fourth, right? So that must be so embarrassing being after Tom Steyer. But when you have Tom, maybe if Pete Buttigieg had Tom Steyer's money, he'd be able to match him. He got 8.1% of the vote. Elizabeth Warren, even worse. She got 7% of the vote. So she did worse than Steyer and Buttigieg. And so then Amy Klobuchar with 3.1%, Tulsi Gabbard 1.3%, Andrew Yang got 0.2% of a vote, even though he's not running. So I guess some idiots forgot, just didn't check the news or whatever. Or it was a I see the term. I see the words Derek J, then sucking, then Molyneux. So I don't even want to know what's going on in the fucking chat. So I mean, nothing really exciting happened. I will check to see if Tom Steyer wins. This is just me going over the regular news. I'm going to get to. Tom Steyer ends campaign after Biden wins South Carolina primary. This broke on Fox News an hour ago. Billionaire environmental activist Tom Steyer ended his presidential bid on Saturday after what appears to be third-place finish in South Carolina's Democratic presidential primary. Steyer made the official announcement during his post-primary rally in South Carolina and told voters he no longer sees a viable path forward to winning the White House. When did he ever see a viable fucking path? Right? This is the biggest win he's ever gotten. So We were disappointed with where we came out. I think we got 1 or 2 delegates from congressional districts, which I thank South Carolina for, he said. But I said if I didn't see a path to winning, that I'd suspend my campaign. And honestly, I can't see a path where I could win the presidency. Steyer promised to remain involved in political issues across the country and said any of the Democratic candidates for president would be better than President Trump. He also took a shot at Senator Lindsey Graham, South Carolina, who represents South Carolina in the United States Senate. Every Democrat is a million times better than Trump, he added. Trump is a disaster. Lindsey Graham's a disaster. He's a disaster for the people here. The move came shortly after the former Vice President Joe Biden won the South Carolina Democratic presidential primary. Fox News projected Senator Bernie Sanders will finish in second place, with Steyer currently in third. He has put much of his energy into a good performance in the Palmetto State. He had told supporters and volunteers gathered at his South Carolina campaign headquarters on Saturday that there's an old saying when you run a race, which is that you. There's an old saying when you run a race, which is that you don't run to the end, you run through the tape, and that is exactly what we are today. Doesn't make any. Is he high or something? Doesn't make any fucking sense. Steyer had a string of lackluster single-digit finishes